Mace came out in support of his opponent, which, if based on what we see in the primaries, that's like a death sentence for Nancy Mace. He came out supporting highly respected, very popular Lieutenant Governor of South Carolina, Pam Yvette, is an America First patriot who has been with me from the very beginning, never wavered, never let me down. The only South Carolina gubernatorial candidate to endorse me as soon as I launched my 2024 presidential campaign. Crisscross South Carolina, other states to me, and I said at the time that this is truly something which I cannot forget. Now Pam is running to be our next governor of South Carolina, a place I love and won big in 2016, 2020, 2024, getting the highest vote by far in the state's history, successful entrepreneur, businesswoman, goes on and on lauding her, right? That working with my friend and great governor, Henry McMaster, Pam has proven she has the courage and wisdom to deliver strong results to the people. Just glowing epithets from Donald Trump for Pam Yvette, talking about how she's going to help grow the economy and cut taxes, and she's never going to let you down, and that, strengthening our military. And big added plus for Pam is that I hear Henry McMaster, the brilliant and very competent son of Henry and Peggy, will be running with her as the next lieutenant governor. I love South Carolina, President Donald J. Trump. Now, this was clearly a snub at Nancy Mace. So my first,
and she deserves it.
Well, that was my first question for you. What are your thoughts about Nancy Mace?
I think she's another one of these nut jobs on the right that just snuck in at the right time, opportunistically, like the Marjorie Taylor Greens. She's crazy. I mean, she acts super conservative now, but she sued, what was it, Virginia Military Institute? This all-male military academy. She sued them to be the first woman admitted there. That's not very conservative. That's not conserving male places. So right. I don't think much of her.
I mean, a lot of people. I think she gained a lot of popularity over the last couple of months because she was the one who was attacking the congressional slush fund that's basically designed to help insulate congressional sexual predators, and she's been front and center over the last several months in trying to bring exposure to that and bringing that accountability is something I think resonates with MAGA pretty strongly.
Which is great, right? That's the right thing to say. I like that too. But it just reminds me of Thomas Massey. He always says the right things, and then he does the wrong things. So he has the seductive sweet talk that MAGA loves, the libertarians love, so they vote for him. But when push comes to shove, when he has to make the hard calls, when he has to vote for a bill that's overall, on balance, favorable to America, but has some little flavor. He's like a jerk at a restaurant. There's some little flavor in this dish I just cannot take. I'm returning it to the chef.
I'm running.
Thomas Massey would only ever accept a perfect bill, and there are no such things as perfect bills. So these people are seducers. They're sirens. They say the things we all love to hear, but they don't actually get anything done, or they're even counterproductive, like Massey was.
I mean, I think that comparing her to Massey is a bit harsh. I think she's certainly not been nearly as obstructionist as Massey.
No, I concur. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
But I think but what we're seeing a concerted effort from the MAGA meme team. In other words, there's a split in the memers, and MAGA memers basically have been around since 2016. We've seen like this. They come out in force when it comes to election season time. And I thought it was interesting because I do feel as if she's someone who's not nearly as objectionable as Massey. And as soon as Trump came out with this, today we see this from the Dilley meme team. And I like Brendan Dilley. I think he does some great work. I think this is when he pointed this out, I was like, oh, I totally forgot about this element.
For governor. I'm running for governor. I'm running for governor. I'm asking the president to get off Twitter. There should be accountability for those actions from the president on down. I'm asking the president to get off Twitter. I've got the news on. I've been watching what's going on when the protesters stormed the Capitol today. I saw.
Is that her OnlyFans page?
It's very aggressive playing I'm a Loser in the background, in case you don't recognize this song. In case you're not old enough to recognize this song, it is the song I'm a Loser. I'm probably going to get dinged for this and have to cut it out, but
attacking violently
This is-
our law enforcement or Capitol Police. And those that have violently attacked the police are being held accountable, are being arrested, are facing sentences, and are being charged with crimes. And that's what should happen in this country. I'm running for governor. I'm asking the president to get off Twitter.
Now, I'd forgotten how much she basically was, towing the Democrat Party line on January 6th. I totally forgot about that. But
You know who didn't forget?
but that's my question: is do you think that's why
He
Donald
never
Trump-
forgets anything. He never forgets any the barest slight. Donald Trump remembers it forever. He'll forgive you if you're bringing sufficient value to the table, but you better be bringing sufficient value to the table.
Right, but I'm saying, do you really think that it's because of her stance on January 6th that he's coming after her, or because she's doing things like saying "get off of Twitter"? Which, in your heart of hearts, which one do you think is really pissing him off more?
The get off of Twitter.
Yes,
Of
yes.
course. I mean, he's literally the Thor of Twitter. I mean, certainly he thinks he is, right? So, how is he going to take that? I mean, she may as well be saying, "Stop banging Melania."
True. I can't really argue with that. I just think it's really interesting watching the teams sort of coalesce together, because, like I said, he came out with this 2 days ago, and they're already dropping this. He came out with, he even bashed Nancy Mace. He just endorsed her opponent, and the MAGA meme team coming out and just hitting her. This is brutal.
This is anarchy.
brutal.
This is anarchy. This is anarchy. This is anarchy. This is anarchy.
I went up to the chorus.
She looks like she had a hard night.
I believe you.
And she looks like she got run through at a club.
Accountable for the events.
She finally got into the VIP section, and it wasn't what she expected.
What's going on? The protesters. I saw video of them pushing and
just see the
attacking
chorus.
violently our law enforcement or Capitol Police. This is un-American. This isn't protesting. This is anarchy. I'm asking the president to get off Twitter. I'm asking the president to get off Twitter.
And you're right. That is like the worst thing you could say to President Trump is tell him to go on Twitter. Let's face it.
His superpower is communicating to his base, and he just told them, your DICK sucks.
Yeah.
Come on. How's he going to take that?
Yeah.
He would have endorsed a cinder block against her.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. But the point that I'm making is MAGA is running with the fact that she was attacking January 6th, and the J6 defendants. He's more. I really think that it's not about J6 for him. I think it's totally about the Twitter thing. But we're seeing the same thing also with The View going after Graham Plattner now. Graham Plattner, the scumbag from Maine.
the SS guy.
Yeah. So Goebbels. from
Imagine
Maine-
what year did he get that tattoo? It had to be within the last 20 years or something, right? So sometime within a third of my lifetime, this guy thought it was a smart idea to get a Nazi SS tattoo on his chest. I mean, Oh my God.
And here's the thing, he brought his wife. He trotted his wife out to defend him afterwards. And when he trotted,
Is his wife Jewish? Like some of my best friends are Jewish.
Well, the point that I was making with this is that he trots his wife out, and I'm like, this is a woman who was totally fine with you having a Nazi tattoo. I don't know that I trust her judgment over here.
She's resting her head there. She's listening to the Hitler speech through his chest.
So, but even The View now is coming out against Graham Plattner, which is just, it tells you that the powers that be I feel as if they sort of pick a side as to where they want to go, and they basically push a narrative, because if the powers that be told them to support Graham Plattner, they'd be supporting them left.
Well, you know why they're doing that, right? Because Maine has a funny rule. If he drops out, the governor gets to appoint someone of their choice. So they're just trying to get him to drop out because they don't want him to be in the final. They want him to drop out so they can appoint someone who doesn't have an SS tattoo on their chest.
Yeah, I think he has to drop out after June 4th. So that's why I think they're ratcheting up the pressure. They're building the pressure now, and then after after they have their runoff, that's when we're going to see just like all these different texts where he's basically just really gross.
I mean, they already have him on. I'm not a big social media person, but is it Kick or Tik? There's some social media platform that's supposed to be for kids, right?
Yeah,
for
Kick.
kids and teens, and he's bare. He's just wearing a towel around his waist. That's like his profile picture.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Totally normal. Totally normal. Yeah. So anyhow, I think that. But I'm fascinated by the way these different factions form around these, like around like we're pro this or we're against that. And I sort of feel as if there's like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel completely organic to me always. That's the point I was getting at. I think if he came out endorsing Nancy Mace, let's say he had come out endorsing her, there's no way that they're going to be coming out with this messaging. And I sort of get afraid of ever falling into the cult of personality, even if it's someone who's a successful president like Trump. I'm still not. I don't ever want to myself feel like I'm beholden to a cult of personality. Do you see what I'm saying?
All right, I'm going to be a little more pragmatic than you, Joe. I'm going to say this. I don't actually care who Trump endorses. I don't care if he endorses a cinder block. A lot of his endorsements I don't like. A lot of them lose. Not recently, but in the past, a lot of them have lost. But what America, there's only one path to survival, existential survival for America, and that's through Trump. That's through MAGA. The Democrats want to destroy us as a first world republic. The Republicans are just, they're happy to be the loyal opposition losers as long as they get to get fat at the trough. If America is going to survive as a first world republic, only Trump's going to do that. Only MAGA is going to do that. And given that reality, I don't care who. Anybody Trump wants to hit over the head with a baseball bat like Al Capone until they're dead at the dining room table is fine with me, because I'm willing to pay that price, even though I wouldn't in a normally functioning America, because the alternative is America dies. Unfortunately, we're in a state where we're hanging. Listen, we've been scoring a lot of wins lately because Trump is in place, but we are still hanging by our fingernails. It's still reality that, God forbid, the Democrats were to secure power again, they wouldn't import 10 million third world migrants. They would import 200 million third world migrants, give them all a path to citizenship, instant citizens. And America, packed the Supreme Court with 280 justices. And America, as anything that would be recognizable as a first world republic, is over. And the only alternative I see to that, sadly, unfortunately, we're in this position, is Trump. And thank God we have him. So whatever Trump wants to do, as long as he continues to be directionally correct for America's survival, I'm just going to back that.
Fair enough. I get it, and I can't argue with the logic. I'm always reticent about just saying like whoever he supports, I'm going to like just get behind. Like sometimes
he's only there for a limited time, right?
Right.
So it's a limited, heartfelt commitment.
We only have.
It's like getting married for 2.5 years. It's like if it doesn't work out, I can always walk away in 2.5 years. It's a lease.
Yeah. Well, we're about to review the hearing from his would-be from someone who I'm sure would have been happy to shoot him the same way he shot Charlie Kirk, and that's Tyler Robinson. But before we get to that, I just want to check off on some of these. Nanos, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Much obliged to you. Exile the Knights of Malta now says history is being made, and you should throw money because the things that we need to say actually get said in the super chat replies. There you go. There you go. And
maybe I'll do my best.
Mace walked into Congress January 2020 and felt free to bash Trump. She thought he was done. He mocked her for saying how MAGA she was in 2022 while standing in front of Trump Tower. Never trusted her. All right, fair enough. My $10 super chat went on Andrew's channel. Oops. I still love you. It's all the same. It's all good. It's all good. So the thing that I wanted to, I also got in locals, J.H. Schwabek asked a question. He said, would you let your daughter date this person? I'm not sure. I mean, you probably wouldn't let your daughter date this person, but that's what he asked over here. Would you let your daughter date?
I was asking about me. I would definitely not let my daughter date me. No, right. No way.
Also saying, Branca, really? Branca? He likes guns, rule of law, and I think sex with women, mostly likely just his wife. How can you do this to Joe? Check yourself. So Thank you for that, my brother. You're awesome, JH. Let me just make sure I'm good over in the ghetto before we move on to our hearing. JH. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so this was the hearing, Tyler Robinson. He had a hearing today on two motions. That's and it's obviously hearing by teleconference, which we get to watch, and it's all of 8.5 minutes long. So I think we're just going to watch it.
Tyler Robinson is the guy who did not shoot Charlie Kirk because obviously there was a magic bullet involved, right?
Obviously it was Bibi who killed Charlie Kirk. Everyone knows this, but you know the Charlie Kirk assassin.
He was framed with his grandfather's rifle.
Yeah. Good morning. Court is now in session. Calling case number 251.
That's how I would talk if I was a judge. I would hate to be a judge. I'd be so depressed.
State of Utah versus-
Would you really? You wouldn't want to be a judge?
No, it's so boring.
I think I'd like it.
Everyone else is the action.
I know, but I think I still think I'd like it. I think I'd really like
Is
it.
Tyler
Maybe I just need to be older.
Counsel, could you please enter your appearances?
Older.
Grunander.
I got a ways to go, my friend.
I'm not saying you're old. I'm just saying, like, what, at 90?
Good morning.
Yeah, right. That sounds about right.
Richard Novak.
Is my mic too hot?
And Michael Burke.
Not to me.
Or
Are
Mr.
people
Robinson.
complaining?
I have it on automatic.
Ms. Nestor is on an airplane.
I see
somewhere,
Jacob
so she's
saying
not
that.
with
I
us
don't know.
today. And Mr. Robinson.
I'm
They're
hot.
saying, yes, you are a little hot.
From the jail.
All right.
I'll adjust.
Mr. Robinson, are you with us? Thank you. Good morning to you all.
He's in the ether.
The court now issues its rulings on the two outstanding matters that we recently heard. I'll start with the ruling in order addressing the defendant's motion for order to show cause. Defendant Tyler Robinson filed a motion for an order to show cause, docket 504, seeking an order requiring Utah County Attorney Jeff S. Gray and Deputy Utah County Attorney Chris Ballard.
This judge's wife has a boyfriend.
Court and show cause why they should not be held in contempt for violating.
I think he really loves the fact that he has this case. I mean,
Yeah.
he has the national spotlight, and I think he's being extra cautious to ensure that no one can question his decisions and how he handles this trial. So I think
Okay.
that's the vibe I get from him.
He's trying not to be the OJ judge. What was that guy's name?
Ito. Yeah, he doesn't want
Ito.
Rance Ito. So
The pretrial and trial publicity order originally issued on September 16th,
look at this. Even Ron
2025,
Coleman thinks I'd be
and
really
amended
good
on
judge.
December 15th, 2025. And as I'm reading this, I'm going to be filing my written rulings. And so I'm going to omit the citations to the dockets in case, but that will be in its full form.
Well, someone got
The
it.
motion is fully briefed. The court heard oral arguments on May 19th, 2026. Having considered the papers and the oral arguments, the court now rules in orders as follows. Defendant alleges the conduct occurred outside the immediate view and presence of the court.
Now, just so you all understand, because we have been talking here and I haven't really been giving much attention to this video. The first motion that he's addressing here is there's a motion to have the Attorney General held in contempt because of public statements that they made that they feel is basically depriving him of a right to depriving Tyler Robinson of a right to fair trial. Various TV appearances that they've made, et cetera, et cetera. So they say they want him held in contempt. The judge is ruling on that motion here.
Thus, Section 78B-6-302 sub 2 requires defendant to file an affidavit or statement detailing the facts constituting the contempt, which statement, together with a subsequent court order, forms the basis of the contempt charge. Defendant's April 16th, 2026 declaration of counsel in support of the order to show cause satisfies that requirement.
So you need to
In
give
the
an affidavit.
declaration, defense
gave
counsel
an affidavit.
identifies the alleged conduct and provides specific examples. Defense counsel asserts that Utah County Attorney Jeff S. Gray and Deputy County Attorney Chris Ballard violated the court's pretrial publicity order by making specific statements to various news outlets, including TMZ, USA Today, Fox News, Political Facts, and others. Accordingly, the court grants defendant's motion for order to show cause. The issuance of this order reflects a determination that defendant has made a sufficient preliminary showing under Utah law to warrant further proceedings and does not constitute a finding of contempt. An evidentiary hearing will take place during a portion of the previously scheduled June 12, 2026 proceeding. The purpose of the hearing is to determine whether the evidence establishes the elements of contempt, namely whether the Utah County Attorney's Office and its representatives knew what was required under the court's pretrial publicity order. The respondents had the ability to comply with that order, and the respondent, by making specific statements to various media outlets, intentionally failed or refused to comply with the pretrial publicity order. Because defendant seeks an order for civil rather than criminal contempt, and because the focus of the claims is on the potential impact the disseminated statements may have had on the potential jury pool, the court respectfully declines to issue an order compelling the Utah County Attorney's Office to produce the requested discovery. Each side will have 1 hour and 30 minutes to present evidence, after which the court will take the issue under advisement and issue a ruling at a future date. This is the order of the court.
So we're going to have a 3-hour hearing, 90 minutes aside, to decide whether the whether the state county attorneys violated the court's order to not talk to the media by making appearances on TMZ and a host of other different alleged appearances and statements that they made at that time. So I want to first and foremost give you all a heads up that I do plan on live streaming that hearing. June 12th is that a Friday? That is a Friday. Yeah, so I do plan on live streaming that, and you'll be able to catch it over here. I assume it's going to be starting somewhere around 10 o'clock in the morning, maybe 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. And yeah, I plan on watching that with you if you want to see the state defend itself from its contempt charges. But I think that it should be really interesting. Do you have any thoughts about, like, if you were the state attorneys on this? Like, I don't even know what.
Well, I mean, for them, it should be a fun time. You know, I was going to say, if it was going to be 3 hours of listening to this judge talk, I would just stipulate to the contempt and do the 10 days.
He does talk slow. He does talk. He does talk really slow.
The 10 days would pass faster than 3 hours of this judge talking.
Well, I'm still going to be here, and because and I think it's like a first glance.
It should be fun. The prosecutor should have some fun arguments to make, I would think.
Right, and it's our first glance at really seeing attorneys of both sides do their dancing,
do their thing.
Yeah, so you sort of get like a little feel as to how adept they are at litigation skills, because not all state attorneys are equal, and not all defense counsel are equal. So it should be a good time to try and assess just which one of them looks stronger than the other, or if they both look, evenly pitted.
And that concludes the first ruling by this court. Turning to the second issue.
If I still had little kids that had trouble falling asleep, this is what I would play for them. Forget reading a nighttime books.
This is great TV. I'm giving you like great TV.
Motion in limine to close portions of the preliminary.
Yeah, could you speed this up 10x?
Would
that be possible?
Preliminary hearing exhibits.
I can speed it up like 25%. I usually
no. I'm just teasing. I'm teasing. You don't have to do that.
Defendant Tyler James Robinson seeks to close portions, if not all, of the preliminary hearing and to seal preliminary hearing exhibits. The motion has been fully briefed and oral arguments were heard on May 19th.
So this is basically saying, don't let Joe live stream it.
2026. At oral arguments, the parties agreed that neither the public nor the media should be permitted to inspect or copy exhibits presented at the preliminary hearing, except as published in court as part of the hearing. With the issue of the exhibits resolved, the court turns to the closure of the preliminary hearing itself. The public and the media enjoy a presumptive right to access court proceedings, including preliminary hearings. A party seeking to close a preliminary hearing must show that adverse publicity traceable to the open hearing poses a realistic likelihood of prejudice to a fair trial to overcome this presumption. The party seeking closure must also show there are no less restrictive alternative means to ensure the integrity and impartiality of the jury. Public access to judicial proceedings also serve in an important role in maintaining confidence in the fairness and transparency of the judicial process.
You would never hear this in New
This
York.
court finds these showings have not been made here.
You would never hear this in New York.
First, the motion does not identify with sufficient specificity that the evidence, if presented in a public proceeding, would create a realistic likelihood of prejudice to defendant's right to a fair trial. Despite receiving notice of the state's witnesses and exhibits for the preliminary hearing, the motion raises generalized concerns regarding hearsay and the expert reports without identifying particular evidence warranting closure. Furthermore, much of the evidence the state indicated it intends to offer during the preliminary hearing is already in the public arena and was identified in the information and probable cause statement. The possibility that evidence introduced at the preliminary hearing may later be ruled inadmissible at trial does not, standing alone, bar the public from the courtroom. The court, however, acknowledges.
So just so you understand what's happening here, the judge is basically addressing, saying you want to have closed sessions, don't want to have the media have access to our preliminary hearing, which is that June 12th hearing, where it's not just going to be the evidentiary hearing, but other things that will be happening on June 12th. You want to bar access because you're afraid that what's going to happen is it's going to be so highly promoted, all the stuff that comes out, there's going to be all this different evidence which is going to be discussed during the preliminary hearing, and much of it is going to be inadmissible. So now you have potential jurors out there. No one knows, obviously, today who they will be, but you have the public out there, which, you know, your Utah public consists of your potential jurors, and we're afraid that they're going to be seeing all these different pieces of evidence which you, the court, will ultimately determine to be inadmissible, and it's going to taint their view of the trial. So that's why we want to have this be a closed door session. The judge is saying, you haven't given me enough reason here to believe that we should be closing our doors and not letting people do this, essentially because there are other bases, other ways that we can leave the doors open, which is always preferable, and still protect you from having any sort of unfair prejudice due to inadmissible evidence getting out there for the public.
Well, preferable for different, it's different things, right? So of course you want it to be televised. I want it to be televised, right? We want to watch what's going on. The public, it's of general public interest. But on the other hand, you know, all these rules about when, about this stuff, they've, the relevance has fundamentally changed in the modern society we live in, right? Even in the 60s or 70s, when you had 10 p.m. news, people were getting like 30 minutes a night of news. They weren't getting 24/7 reporting on a subject of interest. Every scintilla, every fragment of evidence in every case going out for a year, 14 months, 18 months. And it makes it, I mean, I think about the cases like George Zimmerman and Kyle Rittenhouse and how do George Floyd, Derek Chauvin, how do you get the notional blank slate jury, right? The jury that comes in and says, yeah, I don't know anything about this case. No preconceptions, no, completely unbiased, right? It becomes impossible. And the propaganda has become so sophisticated. It's only going to get worse with AI. It's become so sophisticated that you're programming people's minds every hour of every day. And you know this, Joe, but once you get people emotionally committed to some belief, it doesn't matter what the evidence is anymore. You cannot shift them from that emotional belief. You cannot reason people out of a position they didn't reason themselves into in the first place. And that's a terrible problem for the jury system in America in our current 24/7, 365 information overload world. Because the people who are smart about this, they know this. They're running, I mean, Antifa is doing that with the ICE facility in Newark by you. That's in your backyard, I believe.
Mhm.
And they know this. They train each other. It's like they got an MBA in marketing. It's an MBA in propaganda. And no brain is left unsullied. So how do you actually deliver to someone a jury that's impartial? I'm not sure it's possible anymore.
Well,
Unless you completely lock everything down, like they're doing in the Carmelo Anthony case, that the trial is just starting this week, but which I don't think is good, because how do I know whether that trial is being properly conducted if I can't see what's actually happening?
right. And it's an interesting thing that you're raising here, because with everything that's happening over here in this, because he's about to decide that that's going to be an open door. In fact, let's just give him his last 60 seconds. We'll play this like a little faster because he is just so tedious and
This
slow.
defendant's pending motion in limine to preclude 1102 evidence and reserve ruling on that issue until the matter has been fully briefed and heard. Even assuming specific evidence has been identified that could present a risk to defendant's constitutional right to a fair trial, if publicly disclosed, the motion does not establish that a no less restrictive alternative remains available. Several methods remain available.
So he's like, look, even if you think you're going to be prejudiced, we can still help protect you from actually being prejudiced. And he's about to list off the steps they can take to say, even if if inadmissible evidence gets out to the public, here are some of the steps that we can take in order to ensure it's not going to hurt your clients.
Is that what he's arguing, or is it the Derek Chauvin argument? I mean, I remember the judge in the Derek Chauvin case. They were like, Your Honor, our client cannot get a fair, the media coverage alone, our client cannot get an unbiased jury in Hennepin County or wherever it was.
Right.
And the judge said, well, I agree with you, but where in the
Nowhere's better.
state would we be better? And to me, the
Anywhere
proper
else.
answer to that question is,
Anywhere
listen,
else.
this defendant, like all criminal defendants, is entitled to due process of law. If you're telling me, Your Honor, that the state of Minnesota is incapable of providing this guy with a fair trial, you can't try him. The answer isn't just go ahead and railroad him.
Yeah. But no, so that's not the argument that Tyler Robinson seems to be making. You're about to hear the judge list off the potential measures that the court can potentially take if, in fact, inadmissible evidence gets out, as he's about to list off. They're not making an argument that he can't get a fair trial. I agree with you that that's an argument they likely should be making, but that's just not what they're doing.
Defendant's right to a fair trial, including enlarging the veneer of potential jurors, utilizing detailed juror questionnaires, and conducting thorough voir dire, all methods routinely used to safeguard a defendant's constitutional
I was
rights.
about to say it the other way.
For these reasons, the court respectfully denies defendant's motion. This is the order of the court. Counsel, I will go ahead and sign these orders, and it will be uploaded to the docket today. And with that, I believe we have our next hearing on June 12th, starting at 9 a.m. And that is in person. I'm anticipating Mr. Robinson being present, and we will adjourn until that date.
Your Honor, may I just ask the court one scheduling question?
Absolutely, Mr. Novak.
So we have these two matters on June 12th. One is argument on the motion that the court just referenced, and one is the order to show cause hearing. Did the court have a preference for which of those two matters it does first and which it does second?
Let's go ahead and do the order to show cause first, and the evidentiary hearing, and then we'll turn to this.
That lawyer had his background fuzzed out because he has a noose ready for himself. If this judge worked in Canada, he'd be in charge of their assisted self-ending program.
Yeah, so I'll tell you that I think that they obviously were happy to hear that they're going to get an evidentiary hearing, but then when they learn afterwards that the evidentiary hearing is going to be publicized, it's almost like the evidentiary hearing itself now is going to serve to further highlight what the state attorney said. So it's like, on the one hand, they're trying to punish them for making these public statements. Well, now you're going to have a whole spotlight on what those statements were. So now you're just going to be playing them over and over again. It's going to become its own news cycle a week and a half from now when they actually have this evidentiary hearing. So in that sense, it's like that's so almost like when an attorney wins and then loses worse than if he didn't win, because they're almost better off if they don't have this. I mean, I guess.
And is Is the contempt hearing going to be public too?
Yes, that's what I'm
So
saying.
the whole world is going to hear all those statements said over again?
That's what
It's the Barbara Streisand effect in legal
100%.
context.
This is Barbara Streisand right here. That's what the Tyler Robinson attorneys got today. They basically got, okay, you know what? You want your hearing? I'll give you your hearing. It's going to be publicized. So, yeah, if you're them, I don't know that you're popping this champagne that you're getting this hearing, because you're just like, I don't know if we just made things much worse than it would have been if we lost the whole thing altogether. So they might even say we're withdrawing our motion, because, I think they have to think about that. I mean, I don't know what the court was likely to do to the state in the event it finds for contempt. I mean, unless they're paying them money. I mean, it's a civil contempt order, so I don't know. Maybe they would pay money, but it's
not even direct contempt, right? It's statements outside the courtroom,
yes.
right? So
yeah, there was a lid. There was a lid put on what statements could be made and to whom, and apparently, the Robinson defense team thinks that the state violated it. So. I really enjoy you both. Joe, you did find a Jewish girl who would be down with an uncircumcised Gentile like did you find a Jewish girl who'd be down with an uncircumcised Gentile like me?
You taking those kind of retainers, Joe?
No, I don't. No. That would like totally like get me excommunicated if I started taking those type of retainers. So I'm gonna pass on that, my brother. Sorry. Branka, you and Joe, first and third Tuesday every month. You're like lobster and butter together. Scotch and soda, the perfect combo.
I'm the lobster. I'm the lobster.
You and Jordan Peterson. I wish this judge had Tourette's. That would be awesome if he did.
He almost does. I mean, he can't read his own writing. He's obviously reading from a document he wrote, and he stumbles over it.
J.H. St. Joe, have you ever been to an LDS church service? Mormon church?
How would you do that? The Mormons don't let other people in.
I have.
The only time someone who's not Mormon is allowed in a Mormon church when they build a new Mormon church or temple or whatever they call it. No offense intended. I'm just not that familiar. When they build a brand new one, they'll actually open it for one day, like the grand opening, and you can walk in just like a normal person. But after that, you can't go in there unless you're Mormon.
Mm. It's actually against Jewish law. It's going to a church. So
is that true?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Not supposed to go to church, a mosque. Not supposed to go like any other houses of worship.
So like if you were touring Europe, you couldn't walk into any of the great cathedrals. Oh, interesting.
Correct. Yeah, I would. Yeah. I wouldn't go into the Sistine Chapel, even if they're not using it. We still won't go in there. Joe,
it's always in use.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, for practical purposes, it's always in use.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever been to an LDS church? I haven't by now, and now by watching this judge, you have. They're great people, but it's like watching toast get made. White toast. Sounds painful. Oh my gosh. And Just a Christian Girl, thank you so much for the support. Much obliged to you. And
I bet she's allowed in churches.
I would hope so. I would certainly hope so. Tourette's judge, motion denied. F you. F her. Oh my gosh, that sounds like such a can you imagine having camera of like a Tourette's judge? That's what we really need, a Tourette's judge. That's what society needs more than anything. Anyway, so the upshot of this all is it does look as if we're going to have a televised evidentiary hearing in the Tyler Robinson case on June 12th at 9 a.m. Central Time. Utah, I think, is Central Time, which would be 11 a.m. my time. So I expect to be here with you, and you could be able to sit here. I'll toss Andrew an invite for that if he's so inclined to pop in or out of that. But yeah, if you want to check that out, I urge you make sure that you schedule that, because I know I am. I'm going to be scheduling that, and I might be busy in Newark because I'm so tempted to go down there. I'm so tempted to go down to these rides.
You're going to wear that hat?
Not this hat. I'll find a different hat. But yeah.
It looks like it's getting throttled pretty good right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like it's a fun time. And in fact, I mean, it looks like there's like a whole bunch of like independent news celebrities. It's like become like a little celebrity thing to like go down there, like it's like, oh yeah, now here I am in Newark also. So
it's almost at the point where it's gay, Joe.
Perhaps. And if you want proof that the riots in Newark have gotten gay, here's Hassan Piker.
The dog shocker.
who's notoriously reputed to have shocked his own dog and engaged in animal abuse, basically getting taken to task when he stopped by Newark with his gas mask. Do I need a gas mask to go down there? Like,
institutions that are doing this violence feel a sense of accountability, and they change
That's a political philosophy, right? That's what it says. I thought you knew what I was saying.
They getting him out of there. He just gotta. Something just happened, bro. Something just happened. Be careful. I just seen a nigga bust his ass right there. Wait, what happened? What happened that quick? What happened?
now Newark is like a main train junction for the New Jersey Transit, which it looks like that's what they're walking along over here. Maybe I should just take a train down there instead of driving down. It'll probably be easier.
Fucking fraud. He don't know what the fuck he talking about. People follow him because he got money.
Yeah.
Look at him running. You don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Where's the lie?
Fuck Twitch. They get out of here with them view bots. You view botting pussy. The fuck out of here, you view bot bitch. Out of here, nigga. Go back to your desktop, you dog abuser. You fucking dog abuser. You abuse dogs, huh? You fucking bitch.
See, and me and that guy could sit on a curb and each drink a Miller Lite and we'd get along just fine. But he hates Hassan Piker.
It's so true. It's so true. There's no evidence that this is not Andrew Branca's brother who's screaming.
It's true. I am Sicilian.
How about we abuse you? You fucking punk. You abuse dogs. Word. What's up? What's up? You abuse dogs too? What's up? You fucking dog abuser, get the fuck out of my shit. Fuck out of here. Fuck Twitch. Go suck Dan Clancy dick. Punk, yeah, I ain't talking to you. Respect women, queen. I would never disrespect you, queen.
Right, yeah, right. You pretty.
Right here. I don't even know this nigga. This is my people. Fuck you. Fuck Twitch. You dog abusing bitch. Yeah, you dog abuser. Yeah.
I mean, man, people who love dogs, it's all over.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's actually the perfect thing to attack him with, because even the left has, has a hard time stomaching. No matter how much they might love this guy, they have a hard time stomaching animal abuse.
Dogs, right? You think that's sexy? You think that's sexy? You think don't touch me. You think abusing dogs is sexy?
I wouldn't touch him.
Abusing dogs is sexy? You think abusing dogs is sexy, you weird ass bitch? What's up?
It's not just him.
Okay, so fuck him then. Fuck him then. Why you walking with him if he did it? Why you walking with him if he abused his dog? Why you walking with him if he abused his dog? So if you condone that,
the twink is standing in to defend Hassan Piker.
Well, yeah, we can
The
run.
twink in the keffiyeh. They're always in a keffiyeh.
Let's run.
I gotta find me a keffiyeh to wear down to one of these things. I want to go in a keffiyeh.
Cover up the yarmulke.
Yeah, cover the yarmulke with the keffiyeh. I think I can find one.
Let's run.
Yarmulke armor.
I like running. Let's run. Let's run. Let's run. I like your red hair. It's nice.
Yeah, it's pretty.
You abuse
Hey, girl.
dogs, you fucking weirdo. You abuse dogs.
Oh, she's looking at him. She's
fuck Twitch. Don't
Just try and
touch
block
me.
him.
oh.
You smell like shit though. Back up. You do. Fuck Twitch. Fuck Twitch and fuck you. Fuck Twitch and fuck you. You fucking view botter. Yo, you abuse.
What do you think he's trying to say?
Yo, your dog got a shot collar? Your dog got a shot collar?
Get the fuck out of here.
What, you gonna hit me?
No, I'm not gonna hit you.
Okay, so
Are you trying to take us
I'm in public
What the
though.
hell?
Freedom of speech.
Yeah, you've been recording
He's a
here
dog
for the past
abuser.
hour. You got your
He's a
views,
dog
you got your
abuser.
attorney.
He's a dog abuser. Why are you condoning a dog abuser? Fuck Twitch. You abuse your dog. You abuse.
This guy must be pretty big.
Yeah. No joke. So yeah, so that it's like I said, it looks like it's a fun time hanging out there, but apparently not everyone comes from as close as I am. The people who are coming down there, apparently, according to DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen, we're seeing a lot of imports coming to my state these days. So
individuals that came in from Portland not from New Jersey, came from Portland to lead. We've seen that they've been well supplied. We've seen Antifa flags being flown. And once the state police came out, and which, by the way, awesome group of guys, they understand crowd control very well. And they started pushing the individuals back after they warned them, started making arrests. You saw that the situation quickly got under control. And for us, when we first started calling, they were simply saying they didn't have the resources. And it's interesting to me that they finally found the resources. And
when we threatened to shut down Newark, Newark Airport.
Yes. The fascinating thing about this whole Newark anti-ICE protest is it's become the perfect diagram as to how to handle these protests. And, you know, he's getting a lot of flack because of a statement that he makes. I'm going to cover in just a moment. He's getting a lot of flack, but the reality is what we're seeing as far as how these anti-ICE protests are being handled under Markwayne Mullin is definitely better than what we saw under Anthony Bovino.
Do you think it was him though? Do you think so? Like this threat, and I understand the politics. You're making a great point. Bovino is very hard power, right? Hard power. Go in, gas people, shove people, grab people, all this kind of stuff. That's one way to do it. But you end up with a lot of bad video footage when you do that. It may well be that the administration said, hey, we need a softer approach, one that's results in less hand-to-hand kind of combat that's apparently aggressive on the part of our officers. But this notion of shutting down Newark Airport, I don't think Markwayne Mullin came up with that idea. That strikes me telling every blue state, we're going to close every international airport in your jurisdiction, which basically, I mean, it would cost them billions of dollars. We're going to shut down all your airports. We just won't have ICE do international flights. That sounds to me like a Stephen Miller idea, not a Markwayne Mullin idea.
I want to ask you, do you think, I mean, before this, I was addressing this topic when Markwayne Mullin was floating this idea out. He's the one who floated the idea out, so that's why I'm crediting him. But do you think that that's actually that could potentially backfire if they were to actually shut down these airports? I mean, I think that going into election season, if we start seeing major logjams at airports over the summer, it's
international flyers though. That's a select group.
That's really, yeah. But here's the thing, and here's why I don't think they're going to do it over the next month. We got World Cup that's starting on June 11th. So you're going to have a.
They'll just fly into another airport. In other words, you could shut down Newark. They fly into JFK.
If you're talking, okay, first and foremost, JFK would also likely be shut down. Right?
Well, maybe not. Only if they don't cooperate.
Well, it's New York, so New York isn't cooperating. I mean,
no, but New Jersey is cooperating now, just from the threat.
Right. Okay. So that's what I'm saying is it's a dangerous bluff, in the sense that if they call your bluff, if it's
a bluff. Bluff means you're not willing to do it. When you're making the threat, you're trying to communicate you're willing to do it, right? You're
100%.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if they did it, I mean, you think Trump wants to risk blowing up the World Cup, that he gets like all sorts of international
I don't think he has to worry about it. I just don't think you have to worry about it. It's like if you punch the first guy, the other four guys don't want to fight anymore. If you take out Newark, JFK is going to say, holy shit, we can't have that happen to us.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you that I think it's a danger.
And you can shut down JFK, and you still have LaGuardia open. I mean, it's not LaGuardia, a very big airport, really, but
but LaGuardia, that's New York. They still wouldn't. I mean, my point is the reason they would shut down JFK. LaGuardia doesn't really have international flights. I mean, I'm not sure. I've never flown internationally from there. I've flown internationally from JFK and from Newark. I don't believe that there are international flights from LaGuardia. It's certainly not the same hub of international travel.
It's a tiny airport compared to Newark or JFK.
Yeah. And if you're shutting down JFK, you would be shutting down LaGuardia also. They're both equal in New York City. If anything, JFK is closer towards being Nassau than LaGuardia, which is in the heart of Queens. But and also you'd be shutting down Boston, you'd be shutting down San Francisco, you'd be shutting down, all these different international. I mean, it would be challenging.
You don't have to shut them all down. Nobody says you have to shut them all down.
Right. Okay.
You can be selective.
That's true. That's true. I'm just saying, I think it's a dangerous it's a dangerous game to start playing that, especially with the World Cup starting on June 11th and running through July 20th.
I think it's the same game the left plays every day. And I think the right has to begin fighting more like the left. We have, in the moment, transiently, we have political power. We can cause you pain. We are willing to cause you pain to make you comply with what we want politically. We were elected by the majority. We're in a position of power. We're executing the political will of the American people. And if you resist us in that, we will cause you legally permissible political pain. That's what the left does every time they're in power.
I mean, so I've really been trying to just get my head around like how to deal with these midterm elections, and the notion that, and I brought this up when I was talking about Trump's closing of the Strait of Hormuz going into the summer and the fight with Iran and how that's just dragging on. And I'm like, okay, our political enemies understand that he wants to win midterms, and having high gas prices is not helping Republicans in the midterms. Potential shutdowns of the government is not helping Republicans. Closing down airports is not helping Republicans. What Americans care about is their day-to-day life, and all of these things have potential to harm the GOP in November. On the other hand, if I'm Trump, I basically come back and say, what the hell has Congress done for me in the 6 years I've been serving as president? I mean, how many freaking bills have actually made it through Congress that it even really matters to me on a personal level? Most of his effectiveness has been by policy implementation of the executive branch and EO. So, what else, to him, from his personal perspective, as far as accomplishing his agenda, it's, I think that he can say, look, I'd love to have the House, retain control of the House and Senate, but if I lose one or both, is it really going to change that much? I mean, is it really going to change that much? He's not going to get impeached and convicted.
He doesn't control that. He controls what he can do in the Article 2 executive branch. And he knows that has repercussions. And I'd like to think he's not going to do something crazy that would irresponsibly lose the House or the Senate. But at the end of the day, he's a democratically elected Article 2 executive branch president. He has to make the decisions he thinks are right for the country. He's not going to not do that and hope that not doing his job will save that. What's the point then? What's the point if he's not doing the job he was elected to? What difference does it make if we have the House or the Senate?
Right.
We're just all John Thune.
Well, that's kind of the point that I was getting at with respect to, I think he wants to retain the House and the Senate, but I think that he basically has to focus on what his agenda is. I'm not faulting him for the fact that Congress has sucked. I don't think that's his fault at all. But the reality is, since they have sucked, and he's been running the country as he sees fit, irrespective of their suckiness, that he basically
to the extent he can,
right? To the extent he can help the House and the Senate retain majorities in the House and the Senate, great. But I think that it cannot be an overriding. I think he can basically be like, I can't have that overriding my policies, even if it's going to piss off Americans in the short term, that they're not happy about gas prices, they're not happy about the airports or whatever. I have to basically run the country as I see fit and not have that be heavy in my calculus. I think it can have some factor, but it shouldn't be
but
heavy
also
in his calculus.
Like any president, he has imperfect information, right? He doesn't have a magic pipeline to the thinking of America. People are saying things to him. He's looking at the New York Times. He knows they lie. The Wall Street Journal, he knows they lie. Everything is propaganda. So he has to have his own sense of what he thinks maybe the American people are actually thinking and feeling about things. And then he has to rely on his fundamental core principles, which I've never seen, maybe since Reagan, maybe more than Reagan, so soundly founded in a president than I see in Trump. Yeah. You may think he's wrong, but he's never uncertain. He never doesn't know. Everything is guided by his love of America.
And also with brass balls. Like, he basically is like, this is what I think is right. This is what we're going to do. So even if he's wrong, you have to respect the fact that, this is the leader we chose. And sometimes he's going to get things wrong. But I like the fact that he's doing it based on what his leadership perspective is, and not based on what's popular and what people,
right. We're all imperfect.
Shifting with the wind.
I'd rather have a president who's making his decisions based on what he genuinely believes is best for the nation he loves, America, than some pussy who's making perfect pussy decisions every day.
Yeah. especially because those perfect decisions are basically how is the wind blowing today. And for that,
It's
you
our
don't need
death.
to have a
It's a
leader.
slow death. It's America with cancer.
For that, you don't
That's
need
it.
to have a leader. That's not a leader. That's a leader from behind. It's someone who says, "What does polls tell
That's
me?"
managing decline, right?
Yeah.
I don't want America in a state of managed decline. I want America to be the sole superpower on the face of the earth, and if you listen to Elon, the entire solar system. And we have that capability. It's within our grasp. It's within our nature. We have to throw it away not to be that. That's all we have to do is not throw it away.
This is what frustrated me so much with the tariff situation with Congress and with Massey in particular and Rand Paul. It's like what I loved about that is he was using the natural advantage that America has. There are a lot of areas that other countries have a natural advantage over us. The one area we have natural advantage is in our spending power, that we are the most dominant force on the planet, that collectively the American consumer is a force to be reckoned with, that every distributor, every company wants access to our markets. And he basically was saying, I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to make it almost impossible for you to compete and do business here unless you give me terms that I like. So he's basically, he's waving us around collectively like a big giant phallus and basically saying, you want it? I know that's what he was doing. And he's
I was going to say, it's like America's a porn star with a giant phallus. And then we go to play a role in an adult film, and we're like, yeah, well, great. I'm so glad I'm cast. I just can't do anything that involves my dick.
Yeah.
That's why you're hired. That's your reason for existence.
Yes.
Is that hog. And Trump comes in, he's like, I got a hog. You're gonna see it. It's gonna be everywhere.
And if you yeah, exactly. And he's like, if you want to get anywhere near the American consumer, you're gonna have to give us terms that
develop
we
some
like.
suction.
Yeah, exactly. And that's using our natural resource. The same way Taiwan has natural resource with their ability to make superconductors. That's become a quote unquote natural, obviously not natural, but it's quote unquote our resource, which is perhaps the most it's the most enticing resource that the rest of the world is looking for. And now Congress says, "Oh, we want to neuter the president from being able to use that in the course of his negotiations." Are you out of your
literally
minds?
neuter?
Yeah, that's essentially it. They want to neuter him. They're like, "No, it's our power. It's not his right to do." No, just stop it. Just grow up.
It's like you're all a bunch of women. You're a bunch of preteen boys. Sit down. Shut up.
And what was so aggravating is that he
the water was cold.
And that's what got me so aggravated with Massey. It's like he basically is trying to attack his own base by citing the Constitution, saying, "Well, the Constitution says you can," and it's like, just stop it. Just stop it. The Constitution says that you can give him the power, but you don't want him to have the power. So because you're a jerk, so you decide to try. So, you know, as soon as you say the word Constitution, that everyone's going to basically all that you're going to have a significant portion of MAGA genuflecting without thinking twice about what the hell you're actually suggesting. So it was very, very.
The Constitution is not a suicide pact, I've been told.
Yeah, so they say. Hassan Piker, speaking of F slurs, guy yelling at him his bass. Yeah, that was awesome. Freddie York. Do y'all get high? I bet that would be funny to watch.
No, no, weed is not my thing. No.
You've never tried it?
Oh, no, I've tried it. It made me stupid. I don't like being stupid, so that's why it's not my thing.
You can't walk into a church, you can wear keffiyeh? Yes, that's correct. There's nothing inherently religious about keffiyeh. It's literally just a shawl.
It's just a diaper, right?
Yeah, it's just a shawl. Yeah. You keep saying shutting down. Don't you mean international flight to these airports? Yeah, yes, I do. Yes, I do. But what you might not be realizing is that Newark and JFK in particular are not simply places that are, it's an international hub, meaning from around the country, you have basically people flying in, touching down in New York, and then flying out from New York because New York is on the Atlantic. So, and it's pretty much, it's the most popular port, as far as I'm aware of, to fly out to Europe. So you're basically talking about, shutting down that hub. Now, maybe when they're shutting down international flights, they'll allow planes to come and touch down in Newark and then go on to Colorado.
It's usually not the same planes.
They're not, right?
Right.
So that's
Usually.
why. Now, maybe if they're not being processed, I don't know.
You
how
land
they
in
would do
Kennedy
it.
on a 737 from Denver, you get onto a 747 or something equivalent to go to Europe. So.
Right. So it's not just like for New Yorkers or people from New Jersey. It's literally one of the
It's the whole
hubs of
country goes through.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the whole country basically goes dark on international flights. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal.
It's tens of thousands of people a day. It's an unbelievable volume. I mean, I used to travel to and from Europe every 2 weeks in a prior life out of Boston, and sometimes I'd fly into Boston on a 747, and like in the same hour, 5 other 747s landed. That's 500 people per flight. So in an hour, 2,500 people are coming through customs.
Yeah.
It's the volumes, and many of them, I shouldn't say most, but many of them are third world peoples who like have never been through customs before. So no one knows how the system works. They don't know no one's got the right visa. It's a train wreck. Thank God they finally put those kiosks in where an American can just slap his passport on the ATM. Man, I pay for that. I haven't used that global entry thing for like 10 years, but I still pay for it every year because on the off chance I'll be tasked with going to Europe and I got to come back, I'm not standing behind 5,000 third world people trying to get through customs. I'm just not going to do it.
They're finding new ways to expedite also. When my son was flying out to Israel 2 months ago, and he got to the airport, he got to security, and all of a sudden, like someone, TSA or whomever was there running things, came over to him and said, would you like to use our new expedite? Would you like to use our new expedited security screen through? So he's like, sure. And he basically got through security, he said, in like 7 minutes. Like the whole deal, like he just walked right past the entire line. And they said it's a new system that they're trying to implement now for Americans. He said, you have American passport? He said, yeah. He said, okay. So come on through. And it was like some new expedited system that they're trying to use to like sort of, I guess, fast track Americans to get through customs or security. So
just think how much nicer it'll be when we finally strip those American passports away from the 90 million third world fake naturalized citizens who actually still hold allegiance to their home nations.
China or anywhere else.
India.
They chased Hassan out like they were UK. Branka, FIFA World Soccer is the biggest thing on the planet. Shutting down the airport would just amplify how stupid America is to the world liberal media. Britain, Germany, South America would portray us as being idiots and mean.
Oh, I'm weeping. I'm weeping. You can't imagine how heartbroken I am. You think I didn't see what they just did in Paris over a soccer game? I don't want you third world heathens in my country. Get the F out. No offense.
Okay, let's think like Trump for a moment, though, okay? Trump wants the World Cup to swim. He's got his 250th anniversary thing coming up.
I'll do it for Trump.
That's what I'm saying is I don't foresee him wanting to have all these protests at airports heading into the 250th anniversary of July 4th coming up. It's like I just don't think he's going to be doing it this month, just because I think he wants this to be like a happy.
But
time,
can the left
time.
take the chance? Can New Jersey take the chance that he'll shut down Newark and all that traffic will go through JFK? It's not that far away, Joe. You know.
Yeah. No, JFK is
I mean, it's probably is it 40 linear miles? I mean, it's really not that far.
It's less. It's much less. It's probably like 25. Yeah. I mean, for me driving, it's an extra hour and a half if I'm going.
Sure.
But in the air, it's like 4 minutes maximum. Probably less. So, you guys going to talk about the Mormon police Lego Mafia false arresting reckless Ben? That story is a content goldmine right now. Are you familiar with what he's talking about?
I am. In fact, I'm going to do my noon show tomorrow, noon Eastern time. My show tomorrow will be on this Lego.
This is the minifigs and blocks thing, right?
Right.
This is yeah. I actually was.
What I will say is this: I will say everyone involved is a complete and utter moron. And they're all going to lose millions of dollars. Everyone here is going to lose millions of dollars.
You think so? You think
Yep.
the owner? You think the owner of the sets are going to lose? Are going to lose everything?
Yeah, I think they're destroying their business by the way they're dealing with the situation. I mean, just look at the heat they're getting. I mean, the fans of things like Legos and minifigs hate this company. They hate them. They hold them in complete contempt. They're going to lose at least tens of millions of dollars.
No, I wasn't
business
talking
off of
about
it.
Lego. I wasn't talking about Lego. I was talking about those small owners who own the sets.
Well, those aren't the parties. So the parties are basically corporate, the BAM franchisees, franchisors, and the guy who did the YouTube videos about all this, who befriended the person whose Legos were stolen. And believe me, I believe they were stolen. I believe they've been wrongfully taken. But this Ben Schneider, Reckless Ben, who did these amazingly high quality, you should watch him. His production value is so tremendous. He should be a movie maker. The guy's really talented. But when you watch his movies as a lawyer, you're going to see him doing stuff and saying things and thinking, holy shit, if I was his lawyer, I would not recommend he be doing and saying those things. And now he's getting sued by the company. The company's hired the single largest law firm in the world to sue him. All right, 6,000 lawyers, $3 billion a year in revenue. And they're suing him for all kinds of stuff, defamation, and I think there's 14 counts in the complaint. This YouTube, and by the way, one of the counts, one of the things they're asking for is all the revenue he made off his YouTube videos should go to them. So he could lose even the revenue he made from the 2 million, 3 million view videos he did.
Yeah, I mean, good luck getting it out of him. But yeah, he
Who
came from
wants to
nothing.
fight that fight?
No, I understand that. But I think they're trying to make an example out of him. Was he really arrested?
I think so, yeah.
What was he arrested for? How do you have something criminal here?
So, of course, I don't know the true story, but I can tell you what's being reported. What's being reported is he was in his Airbnb, and him and his crew, because it's a big YouTube guy, so he's got a crew. They were all talking about stolen Legos, which is the whole topic of the conversation. And apparently a neighbor heard them talking about stolen property and called the cops. And the cops are saying that's what gave them probable cause to go in and make an arrest. Now, listen, I don't think the cops are clean here either. I think everyone involved here is executing incredibly poor judgment.
I feel like we've been talking over the heads of many people who might not be familiar with this story. So just to give you some background, there was this father and son team who've been basically collecting Lego sets, these elaborate Lego sets for decades
as collectibles. So they were sealed.
Right. So they had hundreds of thousands, a couple $100,000, like $200,000 worth of Lego sets. So what they did basically was they went to this Lego store, this Lego outlet, and they signed a contract with the owner of the store. Supposedly, this is the way the story goes. They signed a contract with them, and if you're Googling this, they talk about bricks and minifigs. That's a reference to the different type of Lego pieces. That the square ones are called bricks, and the one that look like figurines that you see in the Lego movies are called figures, I guess, or minifigs. So that's why it's called the bricks and minifigs scandal. So what they did was this father and son signed a consignment agreement with this outlet of Lego. And the consignment agreement, in case you're unfamiliar with what that is, it basically means this is something that they frequently have. And I know this from dealing with diamond dealers. They'll basically say, here's my item. You're going to display it in your store. And we have a deal between us that you'll whatever you sell, you'll keep 35%, give me 65%, or numbers like that. I think that this numbers in this particular deal. Whatever you don't sell, you can always return to me. So it's basically, I'm giving you access to sell my stuff, and you get a piece for that because you have your storefront. People are going to come to you. They're not going to come to me. So I'll find more sellers. I'll find more purchasers that way. You have now extra asset that you can sell. And that's a consignment agreement, which is the standard that they use in the Diamond District exclusively. No one owns it. It's like it's all basically worked on consignment. So
and I don't want to get too legalese, but so what's happening here legally is what's called the bailment. You're giving a piece of your property into the custody of somebody else, but they don't own that property. You're not selling them that property. It's still your property. It's just in their trust. and they're supposed to take care of it, but it's still your property. And a consignment, the reason they have it is so it can be presented for sale to other parties. And as Joe says, they'll get 20 or 30% of whatever the sale price is.
And
but
then,
it's still yours. Legally, it's still your property.
Right. And what happened was, so this Lego outlet then got the company that was sold to a third party. New guy comes in and it's like, oh, this is our stuff. And basically started, and basically cut off the father and son team. They're like, what the hell? You got $200,000 worth of our collectibles that you're holding on to. And corporate came back and said, we don't have consignment deals with anyone. We don't let anyone do that. So no, we don't have your stuff. It's all ours. And that started this YouTuber named Reckless Ben going out there and making videos about how corporate was stealing $200,000 worth of Lego items from this father and son team. And from there, that's where things just exploded out.
All within the last 10 days, by the way.
Yeah. So
that's amazing.
That's the underlying story here. So it's created some drama, and a lot of channels are covering it. And Reckless Ben has exploded since this story has gone viral. So I do think that it probably is worth my time and attention to sort of look at it. And obviously Andrew is boning up on it as well.
I'll send you the complaint, man. I'll send you the complaint so you can take a look at it.
Thank you.
It's yeah.
For the gold, great show.
It's many hours of this guy Reckless Ben's videos on it. And again, he's very talented. His videos are excellent. His production values are incredibly high. But from a legal perspective, his chosen handle on YouTube, Reckless Ben, dead on.
Thank you, Just a Christian Girl. Very kind of you. Appreciate it. You guys going to talk about the Mormon? We got this one. I think. Oh, he sent it to each of us. That's nice of us. Thank you. That's very thoughtful of you. I'm going to count that one. I'm going to count that one toward the goal, just because I like how he went $5 to you, $5 to me. Hi, Joe and Andrew. Have you guys ever followed Dr. Carlin B on YouTube Substack and her research on the leftist, commie Marxists, tons of radical groups that want to get rid of capitalism, open borders, etc.? So I actually have appeared. I've had her here on the channel. She is a handful.
Is she an older, gray-haired lady, short hair?
No.
Okay, all right.
I think you're thinking of Prometheus.
I am. Right.
You think, yeah.
Exactly.
No, Dr. Carlin B is a reformed lefty who but hates the GOP also. She joined up Brandon Stracco to walk away like 5-6 years ago.
I was Stracco turned crazy.
And then she basically but she came to my channel and I don't remember what we were arguing about. She thinks I'm some crazy MAGA cultist. And then afterwards, after I had her on here and the conversation went, fine. We had a little bit of like sparring, but it was very respectful. And then the next day she went out and basically was trashing me to her audience for like breaking down our hour and a half long conversation for 6 hours. And yeah, and I was just, and it was
sounds like our mutual friend who had the brain thing.
it was yeah, but over there you have history. This is someone I just met, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I think I actually have she had like What I Learned on Good Logic Show was the name of her episode. Go check it out. You'll see that she wasn't very kind. She wasn't very kind. So anyhow, I know people from Germany and Mexico who paid over $2,600 for tickets to go to this stupid soccer game, and the media will spin that Trump hates everyone who was born black or from a third world country. That's totally how they get. But who cares about how the media spins it? And no one listens to the media anyway. No one. I don't
actually have an objection to Trump being portrayed that way. By the way, that's fine. That's my president.
As many times as Trump had that FIFA trophy in the Oval, I don't think he'd bargain.
He does love it.
I don't think he'd bargain with the flights. He'd send in the National Guard first. That's why Mikey caved and sent state police.
Maybe it is true. When Trump looks at that FIFA trophy, it's like he gets that love in his eyes. He definitely gets a puppy eye look when he's like Melania is like.
Pam, good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Pam. Good to see you. And she's screaming, goal. Is that true? Oh, we did hit it. Look at that. Andrew, you're a rainmaker. Well done. Just the Christian girls meet the goal. Yay, goal! So we hit tonight's goal, which means I am going to be going for the third hour. Like I said, I don't know if Andrew's going to stick around here. I have him here on consignment. So I don't know how long, I'll be able to keep him here, but we'll see. AT&T Stadium, home of your and my Dallas Cowboys, is hosting something like 9 of these soccer games. I sincerely hope none of these fans go crazy in Jerry's world. It could get ugly. Yeah, that's the interesting thing about this World Cup. It's like it's in California, it's in New York, it's in Texas, it's in Mexico. It's basically all over Central and North America. It's in Toronto. They're basically jumping all over North America for this thing. I'm not going to kid you. I tend to get into it. I tend to get into following the American team, especially if the American team does well. I tend to get into it. It's a lot of fun when the American men's team is doing well. American women, I can't really stomach watching them, but American men's team, yeah, it's fun.
The American men's team has more of a menstrual cycle than the American women's team.
I hope not. I hope not. But yeah, so we were talking about Markwayne Mullin, and I mentioned how he basically had attacked Greg Bovino. This was him basically dissing Greg Bovino, which got a lot of people pissed off.
Yes. I never met the guy.
He was being asked about Greg Bovino.
I never met the guy. No, he's irrelevant to me. I don't know who he is. These writers are.
So people got very mad that he said, "I never met the guy. I don't know who he is. He's irrelevant to me." I'll tell you right now. You're saying you don't want to give him credit. I look. The way things are going with these ICE protests, it's definitely going better than what we saw in Minnesota.
But it's politically stupid. It's a stupid thing to say. There's no upside to that because you're just going to alienate the people who like Greg Bovino. He could simply have said, "Listen, we never had much interaction."
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know why. You're right. There's no upside. Like why are you doing that?
Why? It's and it's the kind of thing that worries me about Markwayne Mullin. I liked him before he was DHS secretary because he was this kind of tough talking, whatever he was, senator from Oklahoma, right? And he was pretty cool in that role. But when I see him, when you watch an adult male in a position of authority, you're expecting him to make statements and do things that maximize the upside and minimize the downside. And this wasn't it.
Right.
I didn't see that here.
Yeah,
that was a very juvenile approach to that question. Even if you believe it's true, even if you believe it's 100, even if you think Greg Bovino is a total jerk, that's not what you say. That's not the smart play.
True. I have no counter for that because you're right. It's hard to imagine unless he's just trying to shut down the conversation. But you can always handle it with a little bit more dignity. One of the things I was praising Tulsi Gabbard about, which I have some problems with some of the stuff that she's done. I like a lot of what she's done. Some of the things she's done, I'm like, not so crazy about like some of her hiring practices in particular. But the one thing
she gave her husband cancer. I mean, that's ridiculous. But she get out of a job.
You have to credit her that she knows how to handle with far more diplomacy situations like this. Like she's not someone who I think is going to go out there bashing Trump when she leaves. And we've seen so many who have. The vibe I get from her is that she's not looking to burn bridges when she leaves or, and to basically, to engage in reckless fisticuffs. So on the diplomatic scene.
I wouldn't even mind if people were doing that. I would understand it politically if it were rational. But what does Markwayne Mullin get out of dissing Greg Bovino? I don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, with respect to
this
success,
guy, this guy was getting prosecuted about a year ago, right? A year and a half ago for this, being at the same Delaney ICE detention center.
Who?
Right when LaMonica MacGyver, whatever the hell her name was, the black congresswoman of a certain girth, was assaulting ICE officers at the gates.
Oh, so Barack was taking her side.
He was there. Yeah, he forced his way through the gate.
That's funny.
So I think he was originally getting charged with trespassing. They dropped the charges, and the moment he dropped the charges, he tried to sue the government for false improper prosecution or something. The guy's crazy.
Well, he's changing his tune now. After Mikey Sherrill sent in the state police, he actually incorporated a curfew. Due to the escalating situation at Delaney Hall and the increasing need for police intervention, immediate action is required to protect public safety. Multiple individuals have already been arrested and found in possession of weapons, underscoring the seriousness of the threat. To ensure the safety and well-being of all residents, a mandatory curfew for a half-mile area surrounding Delaney Hall is being implemented effective immediately. Beginning at 12 a.m., Doremus Avenue will be closed to all pedestrian traffic. Vehicle access will be strictly limited to those with verified official business in the area. This curfew will remain in effect nightly from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. until further notice. Individuals found in violation of this curfew will be subject to enforcement actions. A warning to leave the area will be issued initially. However, any continued noncompliance will result in removal from the area and the issuance of appropriate summonses and or further legal action. So that's how you basically, start to rail this in. Those people who are crying and complaining about it, like this guy. I don't know who Good Vibe Politic is that shared this out. Well, he's obviously some loony lefty. So he's saying if the New Jersey governor is sending in state police to brutalize protesters multiple days in a row wasn't enough, now the mayor of Newark is joining in as well, issuing a curfew and threatening arrest, noting weapons on protesters, but nothing about ICE officers. Indefensible. No, it's completely defensible. They're allowed to carry weapons. That's
what was it? Was it Thomas Sowell who said, when you're used to getting preferential treatment, getting equal treatment feels like oppression.
Yeah.
Right. And it's so true. That's what the leftists are complaining about. They're used to these leftist state governments, like in Portland and Seattle and Minneapolis, just giving them preferred treatment. You can burn and loot and riot and attack, and nothing ever happens to you. And now suddenly, if you're held actually accountable to the legal standards, like it feels like oppression. We're offended. What do you mean? We can't literally bite. We can't sink our teeth into blood on ICE officers. What do you mean we can't do that? Was that wrong? It's like from Seinfeld, right? Was that wrong to do? I didn't know that was wrong to do.
Was that? That was when he had sex in the office. That's right. Good job. Look at you. So Mike Crispy pointing out that I spoke to a friend last night who's covered the Antifa riots across the nation over the last 2 years, including the past week in Newark. And he told me this: NJSP is the toughest, strongest, and most effective police force in the nation. Mikey Sherrill created a mess. We applied a political pressure in response. Sherrill caved, and thank God our great men and women of law enforcement came in to fix this. This is them basically. The arrests have been going on, and it's a beautiful thing to see. Take them all in. Take them all in. You violate curfew, take them in. Mass arrests in New York.
You know what I want, Joe? I mean, this is fun to watch, right? But what I really want is I want every mask taken off. I want facial recognition run on them. I want every electronic device taken from them and cloned, fed into Grok, fed into AI, so we can begin building out these. They're all interconnected. These are all the same people. We know this. You had the bus slide up before. It's all the same people from Portland and Seattle and Minneapolis. And they're all, it's a handful of people whose profession is doing this. Let's build a network. Let's download. Let's clone from their phones all their Venmo payments, all this bullshit. Listen, if this was the KKK or this was the mafia in the 1960s, without any of this electronics, the U.S. federal government was able to dismantle those organizations entirely. We could do this to these people. The thing that frustrates me the most is I know how easy it would be to do. We should be able to do it in 30 goddamn minutes. And yet it's not happening.
Think about it. They could do that in the 1950s and 60s. And that's when the defendants, when these criminals weren't carrying cell phones, which basically told you everything you could possibly want to know about them and their contacts. Everything. I mean, you pick up 5 of their phones and you probably would know the entire organization.
And by the way, for those of you who don't know, you have an iPhone or whatever, like I have. We all have the facial recognition thing, right? You know what the cops are allowed to do when your phone is locked? They're allowed to point it at your face and unlock your phone. Your face is not something you have a reasonable expectation of privacy for. So all these people, I guarantee you, they all have the facial recognition thing. Just take their goddamn phone, point it at their face, it unlocks, and you clone the whole damn thing.
I don't know if all of them have it. I don't have facial recognition on my phone. because
Well, look
my-
at that face.
my phone never recognizes my face. Apparently, it's I'm not even making a joke. It's true. I'm screaming "F the USA." These people are such a loot. It's like who like seriously.
Oh, it's
Are they
it's
from-
English.
What the hell's happening? What the hell is happening? I guess they're standing outside of the designated curfew area.
All I know, Joe, is that if they were yelling in Hebrew, we'd be hearing about it.
I'm shocked we haven't heard claims that they are yelling in Hebrew. That's the only surprising thing to me. So yeah, the arrests just keep going and going. And it's a beautiful thing to see. I'm not sure. This is the cops coming out in force. They're really coming out in big numbers. They're coming out in huge numbers. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Oh man.
Hey, man, I am going to have to go. Sorry about that. But
That's okay. No, I
I'm old.
appreciate you. I appreciate you stopping in here, brother. But why don't you tell people where they can find you? And if you give me a link, I'll throw it up there.
Can I send you an image? Can I share an image?
Sure.
Because we have a special thing going on.
What's the special thing?
Or can I share an image? Am I allowed to share an image?
You can. Do you have mods? You should have mod. I don't know what level mod status you have, but if you type something in the chat, I'll give you.
Let me
managing
see.
mod status.
Let me see what I can do here. Hold on.
Just write
Because
anything in the chat.
I do have
so
something
I
I think your audience might appreciate,
okay.
and that is, and it should be social safe, Joe. So you shouldn't have to worry about that.
I wasn't thinking any.
Okay.
I didn't have any concerns. But you should type something in the chat so I can upgrade you, make sure that I have you fully modded.
All right, I am in the chat. How about that?
It doesn't
very,
matter.
very value added. Oh, it looked like it popped in.
Did it?
Oh, I'm seeing it on my end.
Did you write it in your chat or my chat? You have to in my chat. Write in my chat.
Dear Lord. Okay.
It's so hard.
Everything, it's so difficult working with you people.
PN says Bernie Sanders is a move no one thought out of character for a communist, has proposed taxing AI companies 50% of the shares that they have to give to the government. They're insane. They're really insane.
All right, I put it in. Oh wait, that's. I'm sorry. I put it in my chat,
Yeah,
which is not helpful because my audience already knows all about it. All right, so let me try. What's your name again? Good Logic.
Yeah, that's what people call me.
Oh, there I am. Okay, I'll put it on the. I don't think I can put a link in your chat.
Well, write anything in the chat, and then I'll upgrade you in your mod status. And you should be able to put whatever you want.
In the chat.
There you go. And as moderator, I'll make you managing moderator. There you go. Now you can put whatever you want in there.
All right. So for people who don't know what that link is, I do new mugs every month, and the mug for June, which just started, you may have noticed, the mug for June is. Have you seen that Trump $250 bill?
Yes,
that's
nice.
being proposed. So the mug for June is that mug with that bill on it with Trump's mugshot.
Beautiful.
And I just want to remind everybody, Father's Day is June 21st. And it does take about a week for these mugs to get to you. So if you'd love, there you go. If you'd love to get one of these, they're beautiful. If you'd love to get one of these to your dad or other soundly American father in your life, I would order it right away to make sure you have it in hand to give them, because no one likes to be given a $250 mug late. Now the mugs are not $250. That's just the picture.
It's just $13.50.
$13.50.
Great deal.
And we have coasters and mouse pads and T-shirts, and they all have the same image on it. So
beautiful, beautiful, really cool, awesome. So make sure you check out. If you give me a link, I'll throw it in the description. So this way, people who are not in the chat, just send in the private chat here, and I'll add it to the description.
Private chat.
You can do it. You can do it.
I don't know that I can. Oh, private chat. Okay, I found
believe
it.
in you. I believe in you. There you go.
There we go. Yeah, drop it in there and pin it. Pin it to the top. If you don't already pin your own stuff,
That's
pin it
fine.
to the top. That would be great.
Yeah, I can do it. Definitely.
Hey, before I go, if you want to hit the super chats that are lined up, I'll stay for those in case any of them address me, and then I'll depart.
I think I covered. I think I did a good job of covering everything. I don't think that I was covering both our channels at the same time.
Okay.
I think there might be one or two Rumble rants left. So let me just scan through there. Hands One Pack says they're suing him under civil RICO. I thought it was never RICO. Yeah. Woodtick Mike says, would this also shut down international freight? If they shut down the international airports, I don't know. Probably not, because it's all about passing them through security. So probably not the international freight.
So it's a different pipeline.
Yeah.
It's a different group of people.
Good question.
I don't know how they structure it today. I mean, I was familiar with this when I lived in New York. I had friends who worked at JFK and Customs, but of course they reorganized everything after 9/11 and even after that. So the Customs guys you see when you arrive on a flight at JFK are different than the guys in the warehouses, but I'm not sure they're completely different departments. So, but of course the government has the discretion to say we'll have the commercial guys stay in place. It'll just be the passenger people. It's up to them.
Zakusika says, hey, Brank, I'm trying to rant you, but Joe got in the way. Hands One Pack says, use MPC Mobile Passport Control. It's free app from the CBP. Has got me through CBP fast. Oh, so there you go. And Zelian says, Hassan's uncle just got hit with bans from the UK.
Hassan, too. He can't get to the UK.
Hassan and Cenk, both of them.
Yeah.
His uncle Cenk both got hit with bans. Cenk was whining about it, complaining that it's Israel. Zelian says, I want to wish everyone a happy Furry Shooter Awareness Month. I hope no one runs into one of them this year. And he says, here's how you get people not to know is you get these hearings long and push them a month or two apart. So by the time you got to the case, no one remembers it because people have goldfish brains. So he's saying as far as highlighting these different things, yeah, it's true. It's a long time away. But the idea is you're sort of building a negative feeling about your client. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people feel a certain way, even if they don't remember a particular statement that the state attorney made. He's referencing like how to fix the problem of the Streisand effect on this hearing that we were talking about happening on June 12th in the Tyler Robinson case. So you're right that if the trial's not going to be for another year. So the jury's not going to remember what they might have seen in a report about from an evidentiary hearing that happened in June of 2026 when they're sitting in a trial in June of 2027. That's true. But people tend to form just a general feeling about how they feel about a person or whatever, and it just sort of sits in there without them necessarily knowing what that feeling is or the origin of that feeling anymore.
And the earlier impression does not fade if it's constantly reinforced. So that's the problem. It's a constant drumbeat. It's not like they heard one thing 9 months ago, and of course they're not going to remember it when they hear a new thing 9 months later. But if they hear one representation, one narrative 9 months ago, and it's reinforced every week, maybe every day for 9 months, by the time you get to the end of that 9 months, that's their opinion. And you will never move them off it.
Right. It's just a known thing. You know about gravity. Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. It just becomes like a thing like that. Like you don't think twice about it. So
and listen, for all I know, he didn't. I wasn't there, right? I didn't see Tyler Robinson kill Charlie Kirk. It's going to depend on what the evidence is. But that should be true of the jury too. They also weren't there. They didn't actually see it. They don't have any personal knowledge of this. So they're supposed to arrive at a verdict based on the evidence that's presented to them in court.
Yeah. All right, my brother. I think there was one more here, and that was Hands One Pack saying judge is only ruling on show cause, not the contempt itself. Well, he's ruling that we're going to have an evidentiary hearing on that. So, in that sense, for now, we got as much of a ruling as we can get. So,
it's such a weird thing to do. I really think it's a weird thing to do.
Would you do this tactic as far as moving for contempt?
If I were a judge?
No, not if you were a judge. If you were a defense team.
Not if I knew the judge was going to do this. No. I mean, if I thought the judge was just going to find him in contempt, I might do it. But if I thought the judge was going to say, now we're going to have another series of hearings where we can say all the same shit that I didn't like the first time, no, I definitely would not do that. I think, but for the judge, it just feels kind of attention seeking to me. I mean, he knows what was said. Nothing new is going to come into evidence. He knows what's actually available. I mean, he could just make the call now. Instead, he's like, it's like the girl who says, you ask her out, right? Hey, can I buy you dinner? And she's like, I don't know, but you can buy me dinner to ask me if you can buy me dinner. You know, it's like, all right, well, you just want 2 dinners. Just say that. I mean, we'll bang twice. It's fine. We'll just work it out.
Yeah, but that's why I'm asked. That's why my question is, if you're the defense counsel tonight, do you go into court tomorrow and withdraw your motion?
Oh, you think they would have the balls to do that? I don't think the judge would take it. I wouldn't do it. I think the judge wants to do this. It's very hard to talk a judge out of doing something they want to do.
But if they withdraw the motion, then there's no hearing on it. You say, you know what, we don't want to go after them on the contempt. We'd rather not. We'd rather save the time, the money, and the hassle, and not have this public show about what they said. I mean, I think,
can they withdraw the motion over the judge's objections? I mean,
well, can
the judge say you've put it on the table? I have to make a call.
I don't know. Frequently, you can withdraw a motion. I've never heard.
The judge will let you because the judge doesn't want the extra work. That's why the judge lets you.
Right.
But this judge might want the extra work.
That's true. I don't know if the judge would let you. But I'm saying is, in most normal circumstances, if you withdraw a motion, they might say I'm having withdraw with prejudice, and now you could resume it if there's new issues that arise in the future. But with respect to these claims that I have you withdraw with prejudice, that's what most judges would do in a normal scenario. But you're right, this is not a normal scenario, and I think that this is a judge who really likes the publicity of this case. So
I think this judge, if you tried to withdraw, I think the judge would say no. You put on the table that there could be prejudice here, and this court feels we need to settle that issue.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you say I'm concerned we're making it worse, and that's why we're withdrawing it.
Then why did you bring it up?
Because I was thinking that we would get a motion, we get a decision. It's really that simple. I would say that to the judge. I'd be like,
of course, and that would be the right thing to say. Of course, naturally.
If the court's willing to make a decision based on what we presented so far, great. If not, then I'd like to withdraw the motion, and not present this whole thing. So, and
that's of course, the proper legal argument to make. I just wonder if this judge doesn't just want that little, like he's a theater kid, we all knew those kids in high school, right? He just wants a little more attention.
Yeah. All right, my brother. Thank you so much. We covered all the chats. I love having you come in here, and best of luck to you. Make sure you check out his store there. And he's gone just like that. Boom, boom. He's out. I didn't take him out. He just stepped out. Yeah, and in fact, I don't know. Did I put it? Was it pinned in the chat? Is it pinned? I don't see it pinned. Let me see if I can put it up here. Pin it in the chat. Goods store. I'll do right by my friend. I'll also put it here. I'll put it in. I'm taking care of you, Ghetto, also. Don't worry, I'm coming to you. Took care of that. All right. Mike Crispy was describing the New Jersey State Police as being particularly badass. I don't know if they're the toughest in the nation, but I'm not messing with them.
Fuck.
Oh! Oh!
Yo, get off the fence! Get off the fence! Get off
Love
the
it.
fence!
I love it.
If you push that fence into my face, I will throw you on the ground and rush you. You understand me? So scared.
Keep opening the barricades. Keep opening.
I just gotta have something that says no Nazis and just except for Graham Plattner. No Nazis except for Graham. Or something like that. You know, that's all I need and go down there. This is what I voted for. Finally, we're getting violent Antifa rioters rounded up. There's so much of this. This is so beautiful. Oh my God. Round them all up. Ah, so delicious. Take them down. A busload full of these people. A busload full of them. When I say they're close, this is close by. I mean, it's literally a 20-minute drive for me. It's 4 short stops on New Jersey Transit. After conducting multiple busloads of arrests, New Jersey riot cops are packing up and headed out. The vast majority of other rioters ran away once they saw state and local cops making arrests. This is how it's done. Well done, New Jersey State Police. Just haul them all on out of here. Can you imagine the stench on that bus? Oh my God. Oh my God. These are people who came in from Portland without a shower. And let's face it, when they left Portland, they probably weren't so sweet smelling at that point either.
You know, it was just they were shot line. You want to get boots, and then sorry for it. And then like I got on the riot, they're like, wait, you were fine.
I think Andrew's right. I think, or someone else might have commented on this. I think it might have been Kimmy, that she didn't want to see the National Guard. Mikey Sherrill didn't want to see the National Guard. Let's go on to the next one. Oh yeah, and that schmuck Matthew Scelfo, who knows whether that C is silent or not. He's the guy who was threatening to murder an ICE agent and his family, has been officially charged with issuing a threat, facing up to 10 years in prison. This is the guy. And you know that Nick Sorter's following this story because he's the one who caught this guy on camera.
Children, your wife, all day.
That guy, facing 10 years for being a jackass that crossed the line. There's a line. He's a habitual line stepper. He's a habitual line stepper, this guy.
My boy, I have your face, mother. You're dead. Dead.
How did they end up coming? Why Newark? I don't know why they ended up coming here. Beautiful. Beautiful. Here's this guy. See, he covered it. I think that's why he got bored. He's like, hey, I spent like an hour talking about this. New York police are setting up more barricades out here near the curfew perimeter where dozens of riders were arrested last night, being forced onto the sidewalk and out of the road so traffic continued through. 45 minutes from curfew. Keep this up, New Jersey. Beautiful. Every day we're going to see this. So they're setting up the barricades. This is going to become our new nightly. Here he is. Here's Nick Sorter on the Ingram angle.
Nick, are you getting your mail forwarded there? I was wondering because you've been there for so long. You fit right in with that costume, though. You are looking like very insurgent-esque. Especially the lack of a shower, apparently.
The greasy-looking hair really.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Well, I did say that. Yeah. So what can we expect tonight? Is this curfew going to really do it? I love Nick's adjusting the lens. Is the curfew really going to do it?
It's always a devolving situation out here as time goes on. You hear a bunch of screaming going on over here right now, and so what the hell is going on? We don't really know because we're dealing with a bunch of mentally ill people. Some sort of police action happening. You still have over an hour and a half until curfew, Laura. But I will say, just based on being out here in my new home of Newark, New Jersey, I guess, on the streets, is the police, the New Jersey State Police.
I did offer Nick. I reached out to him because we follow each other on Twitter, and I've spoken to him by DM a couple of times. I offered him to come by my house and take a shower. The offer's still. If you're watching now, Nick, the offer's still open. I assume he has a hotel though.
Have been honestly incredible. I have nothing bad to say about anything that they have done. They rounded up dozens of people yesterday, kettled them right over here. Most of them are still in jail tonight, Laura. Like I thought they were going to release them. I camped outside the jail waiting to watch them be released at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Nope, most of them are still in jail.
Good.
And so that's a big difference from what you see in places like Minnesota, where they didn't arrest anybody for anything out there. They were totally withdrawn from the situation.
Nick.
And that is a very, very important thing. If they feel as if it's a turnstile, then they just stay there then they just keep going.
Screaming going on over here right now. And so curfew, Laura, but I will say, just yesterday, kettled them right over here.
I'll cover that. Okay. So I think that was pretty much everything I wanted to cover here for you. Yeah, that was pretty much. Oh, this is the last thing. Yeah, this guy.
Watch out there.
3, 2, 1.
They got me boxing. I came down here to Newark to see my brother in Ice County jail. They got me boxing. Protesting for ICE. We can turn this on and take it in the turn with violent.
Goodbye. You're not allowed to protest. After hours. After hours, you can't protest. It's that dark over here. Trust me. Over here, it's not that dark. Like this pitch black, this time of year, around 9:15 or so. It's at least 9:15 when he did that. So yeah, goodbye. No protesting. Adios. He gone. Now, the one thing I wanted to talk to you about, which I was not happy about, this is something that's not going to make you happy. I'm trying to decide how much time to give to spend on the third topic I want to cover with you. I'm going to break down for you a decision that came out of DC Circuit Court today. So we got good news. We got good news coming out of Newark, New Jersey. I guess, interesting news coming out of the Tyler Robinson case. And this one is probably not going to make you too happy. And that is the situation going on with the situation going on in D.C. Circuit Court in the Talbot case. Let's see if I can find it. Thought I had it here, and I know I broke it down. There it is. 107-page decision. We're not going through the entire thing. We're just going to hit the highlights for you, so you get a general feel as to where these three judges are coming from. So, what do we have? Well, this is in the case of Talbot versus the United States, decided by in the D.C. Circuit Court, where everything is notoriously leftist. And this relates to the Hegseth policy. What's the Hegseth policy? Basically, no trans in our military whatsoever. This came out day one of the Trump administration, and they've been fighting in this court over this policy ever since. In the beginning days of his second term in office, President Trump issued an executive order proclaiming that persons expressing a false gender identity divergent from individual sex cannot satisfy the rigorous standards necessary for military service. President, later Secretary of Defense, it's not Secretary of Defense, it's Secretary of War. You got that wrong already. Pete Hegseth, now redesignated Secretary of War. Okay, fair enough. Also declared that persons afflicted with gender dysphoria are unfit for military service because, among other things, the character of such persons is inconsistent with the high standards of honesty, humility, and integrity. In this litigation, the government has not attempted to defend or provide any factual basis for these disparaging characterizations of American citizens. I think they just did. They said if you're false to your own gender, then you don't have the high standards of honesty, humility, and integrity. So, not sure why that went over Judge Wilkins' head, but apparently it did. Indeed, the government has not contested that the plaintiff appellees who are currently serving and have collectively earned more than 80 commendations have served honorably and posed no threat to national security, even though they happen to be transgender and have suffered from gender dysphoria. They don't have to answer to you, Judge Wilkins. Instead, the government contends that this case is solely about whether, pursuant to the Hegseth policy, the military can disqualify persons from military service because they have gender dysphoria, mental health condition. But the record shows that the purpose of the Hegseth policy is to target applicant service members who express what the administration believes is a false gender identity. So, and the policy goes far beyond disqualifying persons currently or recently serving from gender dysphoria. Some of those disqualifications are completely unexplained and have no reasonable justification. They don't need to answer to you. The sharp contrast to the Mattis policy adopted in the first Trump administration, which allowed service members who were transgender or who had suffered from gender dysphoria to remain in the military, appears to be driven by a bare desire to harm a politically unpopular group of persons who are trans. Yeah. Well, because they're kind of sick in the head. As such, and I'm not saying that in a way that I'm trying to mock them. I'm just recognizing a fact that they're sick in the head. I wish they weren't sick in the head. I wish they got better. But unfortunately, we have a American Psychiatric Association, which has abdicated any objective of actually remedying their problem. As such, at this preliminary stage, I conclude that Hegseth policy is both arbitrary and based upon animus, and for those reasons, the policy violates their constitutional right to equal protection of the law. So that's essentially what he says. And he goes through, he first tries to establish, I have to go through the procedural history here and talking about how this thing has been bouncing around in the courts. This is about the TRO. This is not a final finding. This is about the TRO, which God knows when the hell we'll get a final finding on this thing. But he focuses, and this part is important, the district court then turns to the preliminary injunction analysis and basically said that they thought that this thing was motivated by animus, personal distaste for transgender. But that even assuming the Hexit policy discriminated on the basis of medical condition, as the government contended throughout the course of lower court proceedings, and even assuming the more deferential rational basis standard of review applied to the district court, the district court found the Hexit policy still violated equal protection because it's unadulterated expression of animus and reflective of a bare desire to harm potentially unpopular group. This is not part of what you're allowed to even look at. Now, one of the things that they touch on here is and what he spends a lot of time talking about is the Scarmetti decision, which came out from the Supreme Court, where they're basically trying to attach, where everyone thought that the Supreme Court was going to weigh in about what yardstick we use when trying to decide about discrimination against trans. Is that a sex discrimination or not? You're likely familiar, if you ever heard any attorney weigh in about constitutional law, that there are 3 different standards of review that a court will employ in order to determine whether a federal or state policy is constitutional or unconstitutional, depending on the nature of what the law is potentially infringing on. If it's something that's related, the 3 yardsticks are rational basis, strict scrutiny, which are polar opposites, and then intermediate scrutiny. So under a rational basis, the state, if the state is trying to say, hey, this policy is totally legitimate, we're allowed to do it, rational basis analysis, they almost always win. Whenever it's a strict scrutiny analysis, they very rarely will win. Rational basis means basically, if the law seems like it's addressing a problem and you have any kind of basis as to why you're addressing you're bringing this law that's rational, we're going to let it hold up. Strict scrutiny is that you need to have a compelling need. There's a real problem that needs to be addressed, a really big problem, not a small problem. It's got to be not just something that you might sort of need. You need to have a compelling need that's motivating you to pass this policy or law, and it has to be and the relief, the nature of the law has to be as narrowly tailored to address that compelling need. So strict scrutiny, for example, is used whenever you're talking about some sort of potential infringement of First Amendment rights, your freedom of speech, your freedom of religion. Whenever you're dealing with something like that, the court is going to employ a strict scrutiny standard and say, we're not going to let this infringement of your religious freedoms stand up unless you have a compelling need. We're not going to let it, and then it has to be as narrowly tailored. Whatever you put in there has to be as small, and if there's any other way you could have addressed that need that would be less infringing on a person's religious liberties, we're going to strike down what you did and say it wasn't sufficiently, the relief wasn't sufficiently narrowly tailored. That's strict scrutiny standard. The exact opposite of rational basis, which is like, if you have any kind of real legitimate reason, it just wasn't completely arbitrary and capricious. And if it was something that was it seems reasonable to actually address the problem, that will satisfy rational basis. That's why you can see that it's almost impossible for the state to win up when we have a strict scrutiny situation, and they almost never lose in a rational basis situation. Now, intermediate scrutiny is not often applied. The one area it does tend to get applied is when it comes to relate to claims of sex discrimination. So whenever there's a claim that, let's say, traditionally it's worked with respect to distinguishing, laws that treat men and women unequally, so, or allegedly may harm women more than men. So they basically will apply an intermediate scrutiny. Now, intermediate scrutiny means it has to be not compelling need, but an important need. It's got to be something that's kind of a deal. And the relief doesn't have to be, as narrowly tailored as possible, but it should be, I think I don't remember the exact language that they use in that particular setting, but I think it's less than narrowly tailored. It's more like, but stricter than, it's something like not as narrowly tailored as possible, but primarily addressing it, something to that effect. Well, anyhow, where do trans fall? which are potential trans violations. Well, trans are praying that one day they're recognized by the Supreme Court as getting intermediate scrutiny. And they were hoping that the Scrimetti case would open up the doorway for that, but they did not get that from Scrimetti. Scrimetti basically said that this was not a sexual discrimination. Scrimetti was a case which was talking about allowing for trans drugs, or bans on allowing for transitioning drugs. And the court basically found in that circumstance that it was not a sex discrimination thing, because it was applied to men who were looking to transition, it was applied to women who were looking to transition. So since it was applying to both, it's not sexual discrimination. Now you could say, you could sort of read into that it's almost rejecting the notion that looking at trans as an getting intermediate scrutiny was kind of rejected there, because they certainly could have looked at it as it's affecting trans people, it's not affecting you and me. But so they basically apply Scrimetti, and they basically seem to apply Wilkins here, Judge Wilkins, who wrote this decision, seems to basically apply a rational basis standard. He assumes that he's not going to win on getting this as an intermediate basis when he's going through his analysis here. And based on Scrimetti, and he applies Scrimetti, and when he works his way through this very, very lengthy decision. Oh my God, it's so long. On and on it goes. So when he's going through it, he spends a lot of time focusing on Scrimetti and basically saying that the Hexit policy here does not reach rational basis, which is a very unusual thing for a state to lose on. The state almost never loses on a rational basis test. But he basically relies on the findings of the court that this is rooted in animus, and says that that's the reason to say, since it's rooted in animus, and now you cannot say that this is going to pass even the rational basis standard. And he cites various things that were said, and he analyzes different policies that have been employed with respect to trans going back to the Barack Obama era. And he starts off by basically saying, okay, first and foremost, we do have a right, and this is a real basic question. The core question here, which the court needs to address, is what the hell is it your business what's happening in the military? Do you have any basis here to basically tell the military who they cannot hire and maintain on their force? Like that's a pretty audacious claim for the court to make. In fact, we're going to see that the dissent in this case, because this was a 2-to-1 decision, the dissent in this case was basically like, F off. The court has no jurisdiction here to tell. You cannot find a single case in American history where the court had the audacity to tell the military and tell the commander in chief and or Congress who or who could not be part of our military. That's retarded. It doesn't make any sense. That's essentially what the dissent says here. Well, we'll come to that more directly soon. But he basically starts with the likelihood of success on the merits. Every time you're looking for a TRO, you need to establish a likelihood of success on the merits, meaning this side is probably going to win. You need to show balancing, which that right there is where this should have died, because a likelihood of winning over rational basis is kind of ridiculous. And a likelihood of winning with a rational basis in a situation that you're telling the commander in chief who he has to bring into his military sounds retarded, that you think it's likely they're going to win. This is why I'll tell you right now, before I go any further, I think this is going to be overturned by the Supreme Court. I'd be very, very surprised. I'm going out there right now, I'm making a prediction. This decision by the DC Circuit Court in Talbot will be overturned by the Supreme Court. You can mark it down. I don't make predictions often. I do not make predictions often. It hasn't even been granted cert yet. But I'm telling you right now, the Supreme Court's going to overturn this. That's my prediction. When I make predictions, I'm very, very rarely wrong. I'm hesitant about making predictions. On this one, I'm predicting Supreme Court's overturning this, because this is retarded. Given that this case concerns a policy decision by the military, we will provide great deference to the professional judgment of military authorities concerning the relative importance of a particular military interest. You don't give enough. You don't give it. You say that. And they bring up Goldman v. Weinberger, which is a case I remember learning in law school. Goldman v. Weinberger was a case where a Jewish guy wanted to, I think that was Goldman v. Weinberger. Yeah. A Jewish guy wanted to wear a yarmulke while he was in uniform. You know how that went for him? Not well. And that's the right decision. You shouldn't. If they decide, while the court gave great deference to military judgment about the relative importance of the interest of uniform dress, the military said, we don't want to let them wear a yarmulke. Everyone's got to dress the same. The yarmulke is that little small beanie that we Jews wear. So he said, I want to wear a yarmulke with my uniform. Military said no. He took them to court. You know what the court said? Hey, Jew, you lose. Which is the right call. While the court gave great deference to military judgment about the relative importance of the interest in uniform dress, the court also made clear that deference to this military interest did not, of course, render entirely nugatory in the military context the guarantees of the First Amendment. Thus, the court carefully reviewed the specific requirements of regulation and evaluated its constitutionality using the test of whether the classification reasonably, evenly regulated military dress. Behold, those portions of the regulations challenge here reasonably, evenly regulate dress and the interest of military perceived need for uniformity. So you say you need to have uniformity? It's not really clear what a yarmulke is going to do to upset that, but that's what you say you need, and we're going to defer to you. You want to know why? Because it's the military. That's why. You got a commander-in-chief here. What the hell is the court even doing here? It brings up Schlesinger v. Ballard. Case I was not familiar with until I looked at this. A statute mandated his separation from military after 9 years of service, where the statute applicable to women who twice failed to be promoted did not mandate their separation until after 13 years of service. So he said, hey, you treat men and women differently. Why is it that they have until 13 years? You have to get up, meaning you have to get promoted, or you're done. So you let women stay for 13 years and us only 9 years? That's not fair. In the absence of some mandatory attrition of naval officers, the result would be stagnation and promotion of young officers and disincentive to naval service. So the reason he brings up these cases is to say, look, we can examine what the military is doing. And then he basically focuses on what the lower court said about there being animus here, and said, well, since they're saying there's animus, here he is assessing Skermeti and bringing that in, and he's trying to figure out what type of analysis they should use, and what Skermeti informs the court should be their approach in trying to figure out how to assess this trans ban. They say here appellants have partly justified the Hexit policy based on the interest in minimizing healthcare costs associated with the treatment of gender dysphoria. So that's one of the things they said is we don't have to pay the money to cover their stupid health treatment that they need. So he's like, okay, I can accept it for that, but I can't accept it, that's for people who are transitioning, but you basically banning people who have ever thought about being trans. How does that work? That's his question. And based on that, Judge Wilkins basically said that, with respect to those plaintiffs, I'm giving you I'm granting this TRO. Now, there's a concurrence to this, and after we go through the whole concurrence, I'm not going to go through. I want to just jump ahead to the. I want to jump ahead to the dissent. Based on the concurrence comes out and says that. This is the dissent. The concurrence comes out and says, I don't think that when it comes to balancing equities, I don't see how you're going to win on the status quo. Now, again, when we talk about getting a TRO, so you need to establish a likelihood of success in the merits. You need to show a balancing of equities, which means let's try and maintain the status quo. And not turn over the apple cart. And then you have to have an irreparable harm, which means giving you money is not going to fix it. Now, I think that the state, and I would concede that if this is a wrongful law, there would be an irreparable harm. I think that's true. Because, you know, giving assuming this law was unconstitutional, was unfair. So giving them money and to fix them up afterwards, that's not really fixing the problem for them. It's affecting their whole career and stuff like that, that they're losing 4 years of service and they're getting older for 4 years. So I think that this is irreparable harm. But balancing equities is why the concurring opinion, not the dissent here, but the concurring opinion basically says this should apply to people that the military should have the right to keep people out who are trans, but those who are already in and trans, you can't kick them out. And that's what is the decision here. You can keep out trans people, but you can't kick out trans people. That's essentially what the TRO is as of today. But here's the dissent. And we'll just go through a couple pages because he's blistering Judge Wilkins. Judge Stephen Williams, one of the most distinguished jurors ever to sit in the DC Circuit Court of Appeals. So one of our predecessors wrote 7 years ago that in the military, there is no constitutional right for, say, biological males who identify as female to live, sleep, shower, and train with biological females. Whether allowing such flexibility in military service is a good idea or not is of no concern to the courts. It's not our business. Why the hell are we even talking about this? That's a question for the people acting through their elected representatives, i.e. Congress, i.e. the president. Now, as then, transgender plaintiffs object to a policy that excludes them from the military. Same thing we were dealing with 7 years ago. Now, as then, the district court has enjoined the policy's operation. And now, as then, the government has appealed. So we've gone through this road before. Once we abstract away from the politically charged subject matter, as we must, this is a straightforward legal case. This is a pretty easy one. I don't know how Judge Wilkins got this so ass backwards. And this is one of the reasons when I was reading this, I was like, yeah, I think the Supreme Court here is going to agree that this is kind of ridiculous. We have neither the expertise nor the authority to decide whether the military can exclude the plaintiffs from its ranks. You don't have any authority. You have no way of knowing. You don't know anything that the Army knows as to who should be allowed in the Army. The Constitution assigns that authority to Congress and the Commander-in-Chief. They're the only ones that have a say here. Because their claim flouts the division of power, meaning the plaintiff's claim is asking us to ignore that we have no authority here. It's flouting that division of power that we're cut out of this. The plaintiffs cannot identify a single binding precedent holding that the Constitution dictates a composition of forces contrary to the preferences of our nation's political branches. You can't find a single time that they were ever forced to take someone they didn't want to take. Even if you go back to archaic times, if they didn't want to allow, when they were thoroughly racist, when they said, we don't want black people, they were allowed to do that. They might be racist, might be evil. You can say whatever you want about them, but that's their call. It's not your call. You can't find one. I mean, think about that. You can't go back into history and say, sure, there were black people who wanted to get into the Army and were kept out of it. Decision of the Commander-in-Chief in the Army, that's their call. It's not yours. It's not for the courts to overturn. That black hole of futile claims has swallowed up assertions of free speech, free exercise, due process, and the right to counsel, and as here, equal protection. In each of those cases, the Supreme Court said that the military can deprive its members of the rights that the Constitution may well guarantee to civilians. The military is the military. It's not our place to tell the military how to do their freaking business. Like today's majority, I cherish those rights, so I understand the impulse behind the majority's unprecedented interventions in military affairs. I know where you're coming from. This is what he's saying to Judge Wilkins. I know where you're coming from. I know you care about constitutional rights. I understand what you're saying. But because the plaintiffs are service members, not civilians, but they want to have that specialized privilege of serving in the American military, and because we are judges, not generals, I respectfully dissent. Brilliant. This is what should have been unanimous like this. Should have been unanimous. But it's DC Circuit Court. So finally, a judge who knows his place. Because I'm all for civil rights. I'm all for the Constitution and freedoms and equality and free speech and all that other stuff. But you know what? When it comes to the military, free speech goes out the freaking window. When it comes to military, free exercise, your right to protest goes out the freaking window. Your right to get to a court rather than going to a military tribunal and your due process out the freaking window. All your basic constitutional rights. Your right to counsel out the window. And equal protection out the window. Just stop it. Just stop it. You need Michael Jordan here is just saying, stop it. And just closing with this here. Because the plaintiffs are service members, not civilians, and because we are judges, not generals, I respectfully dissent. One of the best lines I've seen in a decision in a long time. And now you have too. So. All right. And that's what I got for you about that. That's all I got to say to you about that. All right. Ever busy Marco Rubio was recently informed that he's going to have to go undercover in these Antifa protests. So he's been gearing up. And there he's ready to go. They give him so many. He wears so many hats, that guy. Just thought I'd share that with you. All right. I just came up with that joke on the fly. I saw that picture in my screen, like when I was like searching around, and I was like, oh, there you go. That works. He did shower recently, so there you go. All right, I promised I was going to open my phone lines, and that's what's happening. That's what's happening now. The phone lines are opening. If you're interested in calling, first of all, please make sure you hit like and subscribe while you're here. I would be much obliged if you did that. Very, very much obliged. And the number to call is 972-454-0703. It's 972-454-0703. I'm even going to have it on the bottom here. It's going to be a banner that's just going across the bottom. Should we change colors of our banner? I think we can do that. Look at that. Call the number 972-454-0703. So you can weigh in with me about Tyler Robinson. You can weigh in with me about Newark. You can ask me advice, because that's what I do. I give advice. I don't know why you think my advice is any good, but if you think my advice might be helpful, that'd be great. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything over in Hands One Pack says gays were banned. It was not a court case that changed. It's just change in policy. Of course it was. Of course it's just change in policy, but they're not too happy. They're none too happy about it.
Call from Emmy Hunt. To accept.
Gimme.
Hey, Joe.
Hey. How are you?
I'm good. I'm calling to give everybody some good news.
Finally.
I had my PET scan May 18th, and it is, for the first time, clear.
Nice. Oh, so glad. Oh, that's amazing.
Yes. No residual tumor. It's clear.
You're done.
No. I wish. No, I have to have a repeat PET scan in August, and then they'll probably do it every 3 months for a year. and then maybe every 6 months and blah, 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 blah. But
Congratulations.
clear.
That's-
And yeah, he says if anything grows back, we'll have another issue, but he doesn't think that that's the prognosis.
Yay.
So that's good.
That's amazing. That is awesome.
And I
I'm
just
so
want to
happy for
tell
you.
everybody we have answers to prayer,
Amen.
and God is good.
God
and
is
he's
great.
good all the time.
Indeed. All the time.
Yes. Yes. And I wanted to also, if Andrew was around, I wanted to let him know I just ordered 3 of those mugs.
Did you really? That's great.
Yeah. 2 for my brothers for Father's Day because they're big Trump supporters.
Nice.
And then I had to get one for myself. I'm sorry. A 20-ounce mug for $13.50. You cannot pass it up.
It's a bargain. It's a
Big
bargain.
coffee, big cup of coffee in the morning. You can't beat it in a Trump mug.
Yeah. No, that's I couldn't agree more. It's great. It's a great buy. That's awesome.
But,
All right.
But I wanted to tell everybody and thank you all very much for everybody supporting me and all the prayers and all the thoughts and all the donations to help me with the medical costs. And I'm here and I'm happy and I have 2 dogs sleeping beside me. So
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
life is good.
I'm so happy
gonna
for you. That is amazing.
I'm gonna go out and plant some flowers in the morning. So.
That is really, really great news. I'm so happy. I'm so glad you called.
Okay.
See those people
I'll
call it
talk
good
to you
news.
guys later.
All right. Have a good night, Kimmy. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Look at that. Look at that. All right. Wow. And look, and just a Christian girl hit the like button. The way everyone should. So again, the number to call is 972-454-0703. I am curious also, by the way, one of the things I was talking with Andrew about at the start of this show is I was well, two different topics. One is the Nancy Mace thing. Like, what are your feelings about Nancy Mace? Because I have a feeling a lot of you like Nancy Mace. You know, I mean, my feeling about her is not nearly as negative. And I understand where Andrew's coming from, where he's like, right now, this guy is the best hope for the nation. Trump is the best hope for the nation. And even if I disagree with him on some of his calls and some of his decisions and some of his endorsements, I'm going to give him my 100% support. I'm very lukewarm on Nancy Mace. I know that she was basically, you know, useless January 6th. But I'm sort of like of the opinion that, like, when it comes to Nancy Mace, I'm like, okay, you know, that was ugly. It was stupid. But I don't have this venomous, you know, anger toward her.
Call from
Karen Bass.
Nice. To accept, press 1.
Karen.
Hey, yo, what's up, bro?
So tomorrow's the big election. Are you nervous? Or you think you're going to pull it out, Karen Bass?
Yeah, I mean, this guy with all his AI videos, he's really putting I mean, I don't want to use any cuss words or anything, but he's really being a thorn in my side kind of deal. It's getting bad, man. Like,
well, you should just remind people how much better you made LA since you got there.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the real estate that is just opened up across the board. Like, we have all these, all these rentable property. I mean, if you got an excavator and a roll-off dumpster, I can give you a permit in like 6 years from now, and maybe you can get through the red tape and stuff. But please, man, like I need some people to come back to California because it's kind of getting a little bleak here, man. Like all the cell phones and stuff and the free needles. Like I thought it was gonna work out. I really did.
Right. No,
but
meth heads need their meth.
Gosh, don't I know that? I mean, if only we had a Blockbuster video that we could like open up and like if we can get like Pizza Hut and like I don't know maybe like a Walgreens or a CVS or something like that. I mean,
you think Spencer
I'm
has
all
any?
for the.
You think Spencer has any chance tomorrow?
Oh, of course not, sweetheart. I'm gonna win this, but I'm just a little bit afraid that not all of California is going to vote for me this time. 'Cause, like literally, we've had this stuff on lockdown. Like you remember when we got rid of the blackface of white supremacy? Like he didn't stand a chance. You know, even millions of people signed a petition to get Gavin Newsom out of office. And, you know, we just, swatted that away like these weirdo judges trying to get trannies in the military and stuff. You know, like, who cares about all these silly Republicans that pay taxes and stuff? But, you know, I was just wondering, you know, if you got some of your friends there in DC, maybe you can talk to the mayor of New Jersey. I mean, she seems to be on my side. She's absolutely a leftist, you know, like we set up tents and gave them lasagna and gas masks and everything. And we got George Soros on our side. So maybe if you can send some of that support my way, I'm pretty sure that I can win this shindigaroo tomorrow. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to use any profanity because I know your audience is, you know.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, they're great, you know, conservatives and stuff, you know, which we absolutely hate in the state of California, like, you know, like to the core. But, you know, I don't want to offend any of your conservative audience members, you know, by calling them Nazis or anything like that, you know,
right?
Because yeah, you know, we're really, you know, wholesome, good people here, and you know the left and stuff. You know, we love all Americans as long as you vote Democrat and support open borders and gay marriage and trans and you know and trans shooters. You know. Let's put all that aside, but literally, if you can help me out tomorrow, I would really appreciate it, man. I mean, this is obviously the greatest show on the internet. That's why I called in.
I appreciate
Karen
that.
Bass.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm Karen Bass, and obviously, you know, I'm a big deal. You know, my city burned down, but you know, I had somewhere to be. You know, and Gavin was busy. We all, you know, we get a little busy here, you know, being Democrats and stuff. But if you can help me out at all, maybe talk to the mayor of New Jersey. She seems like she's on my side, man. So I would really appreciate that. And I'm the, you know, Miss Karen Bass and stuff. So, you know, I got some I say words and stuff, and I wear glasses. So
it's so astonishing. So astonishing how you amass so much power in Los Angeles. I mean, I don't even understand the vagaries as to like how a particular individual rises up to become mayor of LA. Like, what is her accomplishments? Do you know anything about?
Oh yeah, no, me, Karen Bass. Yeah, no, I'll tell you exactly how I did it.
Tell me the story.
So I talked to George Soros, and he was like, "Well, yeah, you know, like, are you friends with Nancy Pelosi and Gavin Newsom?" I was like, "Yeah, you know, we all. Well, I'm not going to tell you about what we do in dark rooms, you know, and stuff, but." Yeah, we're all good friends. And George Soros was like, "Cool, gotcha." And he's like, "All right, well, hold on a second. Who am I talking to?" And I'm like, "Yeah, George Soros. I'm Karen Bass." And I'm like, black. I'm a lesbian. I'm like, I'm a woman. You know, I meet all the criteria above what Kamala Harris could do and stuff. You know, like literally, you don't have to like assassinate me in order to put Tim Walson to the presidency, because like, trust me, I got this. I don't know if I said too much information right there. But
no. This is breaking news.
I talked to George.
So
you're damn right, because I'm Karen Bass, man. Like, I got this. I'm gonna win and stuff. That guy Pratt or something, or Cecil DeVille. I don't even remember
something
his
like
name.
that.
Yeah, I'm too busy riding around in limos and stuff, and flying to other countries while my city burns down. But that's just what happens when you're a Democrat, man.
How many votes do you think you're going to get tomorrow? Now, just to remind you, 4 years ago.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
4 years ago in your primary, you got 278,000 votes. Rick Caruso came in second with 232,000. And there was a total of 646,000 because the city of Los Angeles is much smaller than the county of Los Angeles. So my question is, do you think you're going to get 300,000 votes tomorrow?
Well, I will correct you, sir, because I am a black woman and math is racist. So, I mean, I will go with the number. I'll go with the number 2, and I'm pretty sure that I'll get like 2 at least. Because I got glasses, and there's 2 lenses in the glasses and stuff, and 2 plus 2 equals 5. Because if you say any different, that is racist, sir, and I will have you know that. And of course, we got to keep the trannies in the military, because how many trans shooters have we had? Shooting.
They're obviously very good at
stuff?
it. They're obviously very, very good.
Yeah, no, they're great for our economy and the open borders. We need more open borders and trans because they are great at shooting stuff up. So, literally, what better thing do you need to, make America, you make the military, I don't know, how am I supposed to answer this? I hate Donald Trump, and I hope the Iranians win. So, maybe we should send some trans to Iran to help them, because they're obviously really good at shooting stuff.
Why do you think,
Bass, and I stand by this.
Karen, why do you think that Trump has not given his endorsement to Spencer Pratt yet?
Oh, because obviously all, the Republicans hate MAGA, and obviously if Donald Trump endorses him, then literally no one's going to vote for him because, MAGA is done. Everybody hates America. Now they're on the America First, whatever that means. I think it has something to do with gasoline, but obviously it doesn't make any sense because it doesn't work within the Democrat mindset. And that's basically how it comes down to is, if it doesn't work within a Democrat mindset, then obviously I'm going to win with 2 votes tomorrow. So, yeah.
Well, I think her best chance to win is by giving everyone in Los Angeles 2 votes. So
no, we don't want everyone to vote.
No,
we want the homeless people with needles sticking out of their arms to vote, and we don't want anyone else to vote except for homeless people defecating on the streets butt naked outside of schools to vote. And I'm going to give you free healthcare and Obama phones and SNAP benefits. It's going to be great, man. We'll make this work somehow.
I'll tell you right now.
With enough taxpayers' dollars, we will make it work.
I think we're going to see her get 300,000 ballots tomorrow. That's what I think. I'm not saying 300,000 votes, but I do think Karen Bass is going to get 300,000 ballots cast in her favor tomorrow.
Well, hey, George Soros already offered me twice that, so you don't have to worry about any kind of funds or anything. Trust me, I got this. And we got Gavin Newsom and Nancy Pelosi and all the NGOs from all across the planet just dumping their money. Foreign spies. Literally, we bought the election machines from Venezuela. So what does that tell you? Obviously, we have this in the bag.
Obviously. All right, Karen. Well, I wish you the worst of luck tomorrow, and I'll tell you that.
I think that was a good sign. No, I really appreciate you taking my call. I mean, I watch your show religiously. It's the best show on the internet.
That's what everyone says.
I am a first time caller, because I'm Karen Bass.
Well, I look forward to hearing from you again. Win or lose tomorrow. win or lose tomorrow. That the next time that and maybe you'll have extra free time if you have a really disastrous primary tomorrow, right? Never know.
Yes, thank you for your support, sir. And if you can get a hold of that mayor in whatever, wherever all the white people live over there and stuff on the East Coast, just let them know that
I'll hook you up.
they should.
I'll hook you up.
Yeah, they should support me because I'm black.
That's
I'm not
obviously
racist.
Obviously, no such thing as a racist black person. Have a good night, Karen. Thank you so much.
Karen, god damn.
Take care.
All right, God bless. Shalom, brother.
Shalom. All right. You weren't expecting Karen Bass to call in, were you? You weren't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. No one knew that was coming. But what was it that Jim wants me to talk about tonight? Give me a second here. Oh.
Call from
Just a Christian girl.
Hey, Christian girl, how you doing?
Hi.
Hey.
Wanted to say thank you to all of you.
Oh. When did you find?
Hi.
I don't think I've seen you. You got to turn off the thing in the background because we're hearing an echo there. So.
Okay, let me get you off the speaker.
Okay.
There.
I still hear me in the background.
Can you hear me better? Okay, let me get you off the speaker. There.
Still hear me in the background.
Huh. Oh, I know.
Maybe just shut it off. Maybe just shut off the show while you're talking to me.
I shut it off. Yeah, I did.
All right, cool. How you doing?
Yeah.
I don't
wanted
remember
to say
seeing.
thank
I don't
you.
remember seeing you very often here. Are you new to the show?
Branca.
What?
I follow Branca.
Oh, you
lawyer?
follow Branca. Oh.
Yeah, that's how I knew about you, and then I subscribed to you.
Oh, thank you. Look at that. A new sub. That's amazing. I didn't know such a thing could even happen. Wow, that's great.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I went to vote on Friday, and there were like 16 volunteers, and only 2 of us voting in person. So a lot of people are getting like comfortable.
Are you in LA?
Voting. I'm sorry?
You're in LA?
Yeah, I'm in LA County.
Uh-huh. Okay. I know not everyone in LA County is considered part of the city and able to vote. So you're in LA. You're in the city of LA.
Yeah, Long Beach.
Oh, cool.
It's LA County, but it's Long Beach.
So what is this? So I actually feel like I have boots on the ground. You're my boots on the ground, in case you didn't know. So my question for you is this: what is the vibe out there? Do you talk to people? Is there any possibility that Spencer Pratt's actually going to pull this thing out?
Oh yes, absolutely. That's the vibe.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Is it?
Yes. He's done very good.
So you think he's going to win?
I think he's close. Not sure if totally winning, but very close. Like he's done a very good job, especially when he exposed the needle thing, that they were giving away in the video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's done very good, exposing all of the homelessness and what happened in the Palisades, so all of that. So he's been doing really good. Also, I think Steve Hilton is very close too.
He's what?
Steve Hilton. I think he's very close to being a competitor too.
Oh, he's saying to win the governor race.
For real, yeah.
Wow. I don't know.
Very close.
It feels as if there's so much fraud in your elections. Like Gavin Newsom works really hard to make sure that all their fraud cannot be exposed. That I just sort of, I question how much of a landslide you need to have to actually win an election if you're a Republican. I almost feel as if you need to have half of the registered voters plus one, even though all of the registered voters in your jurisdiction. Normally, I looked this up back in 2020 when I was trying to investigate fraud in various states. So I was like looking into like when you have a certain number of registered voters, what do you think is a high percentage turnout? And tell me your best guess, and you're going to get it wrong, but what do you think is a normal turnout as far as percentage of registered voters who cast a vote in a given election? What do you think is a relatively high number?
I'm gonna say 60%.
60%. Well, it's higher than that.
Yes.
It's higher than that. Well, we saw
Possible.
60% is normal. That's like a normal election. It's like 60% of registered voters votes. And when you have a high turnout, it gets up towards 70. We saw in Ohio, for example, like, 2020, they were a battleground state, a lot of people coming out to vote, because like they know that you're more likely to vote when you think your vote matters, when you feel as if we're a battleground state, it's like really close in this state. So they got all the way up to 74%. That was that's why when I saw states like Michigan, Wisconsin, where they were getting 80%, 85%, 90% turnout, it's like, that's not possible. It's literally not possible because the higher you go, the higher, and this is what's one of the things I need to point out. The higher you go, the harder it is to move up 1 percentage point. Like it becomes exponentially harder.
That's true.
So is a big difference between 80% and 86% that Michigan had in 2020. It's impossible to get to 86%. Do you know that in Australia, where there's a law, you must vote, that it's mandatory, you have to, that's the law. You have to vote. If you don't vote, you're breaking the law. They can never,
I like that.
well, they can never get past 95%. Even like they can't. They're like 5% still won't vote. It's the law, you have to, and they still won't. Over here, that's why when you see states over here having in the mid to high 80s, it's not possible that that's real. What that means is that there's just this flood of ballots that are coming in that are purporting to be real but are not real. And that's where you basically have a tell. So
definitely.
I'm just, and that's why when I say you need to have like 50% plus one of registered voters, like that's a ridiculous number because most people, the winning candidate will have like, 42% of like all registered voters voting for them. To get to 50% is like impossible. 50% of all registered voters vote for you. And that's what I feel like Spencer Pratt needs, because I just feel like they're just going to bring in more ballots. They're bringing more ballots, I just have no confidence in the integrity.
What I noticed over here, a lot of people were at the Walmarts, especially the Walmarts, and they were outside and they were getting like numbers and stuff, because I think they were trying to get people to vote for some of the measurements, that Democrats want here. But they actually went outside and they were at the Walmart. So Republicans here, we need that. And Spencer Pratt, he did that. He went outside. He walked the streets. He spoke to people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's the first Republican that has done that to kind of bring the other Republicans out and to vote, because I witnessed Democrats kind of like telling people, oh, go to the Walmarts or go to the homeless camps, or the streets, like Skid Road and stuff like that. So they were there. Democrats were there trying to they were actually paying people to, sign their names and sign where they supposedly live, just to get them registered.
Mm-hmm.
But Spencer Pratt, he actually went outside and walked the streets, like I said, and spoke to the people. So he brought that vibe, that was needed here in LA County. So that's a good thing.
Right. Now I'm noticing a little bit of an accent. Are you Latino?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My mom is Hispanic. My dad is Greek.
Mm-hmm. Are you a citizen? Because I think in California they let non-citizens vote, right? For their
Yeah, no, I'm an American citizen. Yeah, definitely. I'm born here in LA. Yeah.
cool. So when you so what are you sensing from the Latino community as far as, I mean, is that what you basically integrating with normally?
No, I see myself as white.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, yeah, because I've never lived enough in any country. You know, like I lived when I was little in Mexico for some years, but not enough. So I don't relate to Latino. You know what I mean? Like I
Right.
speak more English than Spanish, so I don't really relate. But the vibe here, you know, it's like a lot of people here don't know the truth because they follow like CBS, they follow NBC, or they follow Telemundo, things like that, you know. So they're not actually knowing the truth. A lot of people don't know YouTube. They don't go to YouTube, you know. So the Latino vibe here is like, oh, well, if illegals are crossing, you know, they're here to make a living, you know, and they're adding to this and that into, but not so, because like I know people that have had in-home providers from IHSS, and a lot of them are illegals. You know what I mean? Like I met this lady from Colombia, and she told me that when she was in Colombia, the Catholic churches were the ones that paid for her and a lot of them to come and cross illegally into the United States. When she crossed the state, then other organizations, NGOs that the Catholic churches had in Colombia over here were the ones that gave her a social security number and a work permit. With that, she went to the DMV and got an ID. And now she's working for the IHSS. IHSS is a government agency, and she's working as an in-home provider. They never did a background on her because she literally didn't exist before she came. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow. I was just sharing with my audience here because I had someone who's ignorant who thought that I was foolish in saying that non-citizens can vote in local elections. And I pulled up here in Ballotpedia where it lists 3 states that allow non-citizen voting in the United States and have certain jurisdictions which allow non-citizens to vote in local elections. And that includes Vermont, Maryland, and your state of California. So,
yep.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that illegals aren't voting. I don't believe they aren't voting. I don't believe they're not using their names in the mailing ballots. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe that all ballots are true citizens.
Yeah, I'm sure you're correct in that assertion. I'm quite sure you're sure. When they're sending out multiple ballots to houses, people who haven't been living there forever, they're expecting they're expecting that that they're going to be getting a vote coming in from people who are not actually supposed to be voting. So
correct.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Yep.
Well, I'm so glad I'm so glad you found our show and that you called in. And I'm going to wish you best of luck in tomorrow's election.
It was nice talking to you.
You too. Thank you so much.
Okay. Good night. Have a good night rest.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
That was so nice. Look at that. I feel as if we got boots on the ground. That's what you get here. We got boots on the ground. If I get another call that comes in the next couple of minutes, I don't know why it is Paulie comes in here all the time and just is spreading. They do check ID. I used to live there and I voted there. Well, not anymore because it's against the law to check ID now. So apparently you're not up on what's happening there. You used to live there, but you don't know what's going on there over the last decade or so. But you're spreading your ignorance as if, you're a voice of authority, which is kind of amusing. But I'm just going to correct you on that. I just proved that was wrong. So thanks for playing. Anyway, I think we can keep her. I think we can keep her. She seems like a really nice woman. So yeah, we'll keep her. Hopefully, I guess that's on her. Anyway, What else did I want to share? There was one other thing I wanted to share with you before I got out of here. There was one other thing I wanted to share with you. Where was it? Where was it? Wasn't this? I have like all these different things that I tag and like I put aside for like a rainy day. You can still feel free to call in, by the way. But this was one of them. This was kind of funny. I watched a few. I only watched like the first like 30 seconds of this.
Presidential promise.
This is kind of funny. This was on Joe Biden. This is when Joe Biden was president.
To put the law before a family.
I said I abide by the jury decision. I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
Letting the world know that he will not wipe away the decision of 12 of his son's peers.
Was asked directly, and he has said he wouldn't pardon his son if he gets convicted.
Let's wait and see what happens if he loses.
Yeah, but he said it.
He's going to get pardoned by his dad. There's no question about that.
The president has ruled out pardoning his son.
Major commitment from the president, accepting the outcome of the trial and also pledging not to pardon his son.
So the challenge for him is really to continue to live up to his values when it was really personal, and he did that today.
It seems like a pretty
totally
normal, straightforward answer, but it takes new weight when we see what Trump is saying about the outcome of his trial, what we're hearing from other Republicans who say they don't accept the jury's verdict here in New York.
The contrast is profound. To sit there and say, we're not going to intervene in the legal process, and I wouldn't pardon my
SC Cup. This is in case you don't know this, by the way. SC Cup used to be a Republican. She was, yeah, and then she got the call.
son. One side, Democrats and Joe Biden protecting the justice system, and on the other, Republicans and Trump protecting Trump.
Our current president of the United States has so much respect for the law that he has said he would not pardon his son.
Wow. Amazing.
I mean, what,
Amazing.
Again, it's all about the contrast.
President Biden saying, I will respect whatever this jury decides,
That's
versus
right.
Donald Trump after he was convicted on 34 counts, saying the entire system is rigged against him.
Their latest attack has been that Joe Biden has politicized and weaponized the DOJ, right? That was the whole argument around Donald Trump's conviction. And this week, of course, Hunter Biden was found guilty, and Joe Biden has very clearly said he would not pardon his son, he would not commute his sentence. How stark is this difference? I mean,
how stark is it?
How can Republicans keep making this argument now that
How can they do it?
now that Joe Biden has really put it out there? Where's Hunter? And he stood there in a courtroom, flanked by his family, and he's accepted his sentence.
With charges that should have been a million times harsher than what they were actually brought.
He's not pardoning his son.
Yeah, this goofball Andrew Weissman. Oh my God. There's certain people I look at them and I'm just like, okay, this guy definitely. If you dig deeper into this guy, and there's just I just feel like a mess of creepy stuff around him. That's just you could just something very, very creepy here.
Could do. These are federal charges.
Right.
He is not doing that. He is not doing it because he is living what it means to have a rule of law in this country.
Yeah.
And it isn't, I mean, if you want to know if he believes it, you could actually see what is happening.
You can totally see it. You can totally see it
with his own son.
The president, Anderson, has been really clear that he is going to accept the outcome of the trial no matter what happens.
So Joe Biden's gotten asked about, talking about law and order. He's gotten asked if he would pardon his son. He has said no. On the other side, you've got Donald Trump, who has said that he will pardon the January 6th insurrectionists. They're not even his sons. They're just sons of bitches.
Washington said, I am
not. Look, you could tell she planned that line. You could tell she planned that line. It's like... She threw it out there too quick. It's like you need to make it look like you're thinking of it on the spot. Yeah, it was very poor. She needs more mirror work. More mirror work there.
Not running again because he understood the self-restraint was absolutely essential to this country. So you don't have a king. He did not pardon his son. He did not order the Department of Justice to say, don't prosecute my son. So impressive.
Could have ordered the Justice Department to halt the prosecution of Hunter Biden, according to this court. Everyone understands he's a decent man.
I think Joe Biden has a chance here to stand up for the rule of law, to say the law is the law, no matter who it is, no matter if it's Trump or Biden. And remember, part of Trumpism's dangerousness is that it tears down institutions, important institutions of our democracy. So there's an opportunity here.
Our institutions of democracy, and democracy.
For Biden to say, you know, the jury found him guilty. This is how it's supposed to work. Period, paragraph, end of story.
Have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
As I said last week, I will accept the outcome of this case and will continue to respect the judicial process as Hunter considers an appeal. You know, the president said he won't touch it. He said he's not going to pardon his son. And it seems that Merrick Garland let it go through. How can the Justice Department be weaponized against Trump?
You see, that's the only reason that they charged him at all, was so that idiots will say what she's saying right here. Just so that idiots will say this line right here. Give it to us. Give us the line. Give us the line.
It seems that Merrick Garland let it go through. How can the Justice Department be weaponized against Trump when all of that is happening?
The Democrats stand for the rule of law. Remember, law and order. And we've been saying that.
Which was a great show, by the way. Remember Law and Order? Great show. It was. I liked it better when they had Jack McCoy there. Just get it done, Jack. That was when Law and Order was really great. Now, and Special Victims Unit, it's like, okay, you're trying to milk that cow a little too much. The teats are getting dry. But Law and Order, remember that? Law and Order is great.
Trump's not above the law. Hunter Biden's not above the law. No one is above the law.
No one.
And it is amazing to see the stark contrast between how Democrats handled today and how Republicans handled this whole thing over the last couple of weeks.
For years, these conservatives have been crowing about a politicized Justice Department, Biden politicizing it, and so
But you know what proves it's not politicized? Tell us, what proves it's not politicized?
on. What happened today? The Justice Department convicted the president's own son, his only living son. You heard the president say he would accept the outcome of the case. I know no other word for that, but presidential.
Presidential. So presidential. You know what's also presidential? Exercising your pardon power. That's also, you want to know how you know it's presidential? Because only the president can do it. So in that sense, it's presidential too.
He even went so far as to say he wouldn't pardon his son. That's how much respect he has for the system.
The president has said that he will not pardon his son. What did you think of that?
I thought it was extraordinary. I mean, it was a moment of just moral clarity on the part of Joe Biden, and couldn't have been in starker contrast to the way Donald Trump has handled his own conviction.
He could still pardon him. He said he won't
I could literally watch this for an hour.
do that. All of that conduct, given that it's his son, is kind of, we should pause for a moment and think about how unbelievable that is. And
what an unbelievable president that he could actually say those words. That he managed to say them. He didn't stutter in his sentence. He could say those words. That he could say the words. You said every word.
million years, if the shoe were on the other foot, and Donald Trump was facing the prospect of his son being prosecuted by
this was 2024.
A Biden, me, if I had been held over, a Biden holdover or Obama holdover prosecutor, not in a million years would that have happened. So, you know, some of the people on the right, the people who support Donald Trump, are trying to cast this as some clever ops program.
Yeah. Hunter Biden was found guilty by a jury of his peers, just like Donald Trump, because this is our justice system at work. The divide here is stunning, and it's
stunning and stark. It's stunning and stark. It's stunning and brave. The divide here is stunning and brave.
a great reminder that one political party remains committed to the rule of law and the other doesn't.
Joe Biden has already proven he's willing to stand up for the rule of law in a way that we could.
He doesn't need to do anything else. He said the words. He's already proven it.
Never imagine Donald Trump to do.
Pretty emphatic over the last few days that he does not plan to pardon or commute his son. What that really is him saying is, I don't plan to use the powers of the office, the powers of the presidency, to provide private relief for my family. In a sense, he's stating.
Like, how stupid did you have to be to actually think he was not going to pardon him? How stupid? How stupid an individual. Any one of these people here should never be trusted again to actually believe him. You're either a liar or you're stupid. This is what I said. This is what I said. If I was the president of the United States and my son was federally convicted of a crime, any crime, and I had the pardon power, I would pardon him. And so would you for your kid. That's what you would do. You would pardon him. You would. I at least can admit, I would. We're sitting there signing off on pardons for thousands of people, total like lunatics you never met before. And you're not going to do it for your own son? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Why wouldn't you? It's a power that's given to you, and you totally would. You would. So these schmucks standing up here trying to pretend that his stupid empty promises meant something. It's like, are you an idiot or you a liar?
Taking out a pretty bright line between being, as he says, a president.
All right, you know what? Maybe let him serve 30 days. Okay, in like, let him serve 30 days in like, Club Fed. You totally would pardon him. Of course you would. Come on.
And a dad. And that's not just an emotional expression. He's in effect saying, I don't think that I don't have a right, even if it's legal, and God knows it must be tempting.
Yeah.
Oh, it must be very tempting.
Use this power in a way that is not available to so many other Americans facing similar kinds of struggles. There's a kind of old school sort of flinty core to his conception of how you are to be in the system, how you are to be as a person, a moral person, and ultimately how to contend with questions of power. One of the things
never abuse of power from him.
That anybody who spends time around Joe Biden comes to know is that he's had this long-running focus on how much he is bothered by abuses of power.
He is the king of abusing power. This is a guy who basically said, because his son got paid, hey, fire this prosecutor. Oh, schmuck. They're such liars.
Accept the verdict no matter what it is, and that he has ruled out pardoning his own son.
Honorable.
Contrast that from what we hear from Donald Trump. And again, we have to underline, in no uncertain terms, President Biden saying, I will accept the outcome. I will accept what the jury decides here. That's the way our legal system works. And no, I will not pardon my own son if he is convicted.
And the contrast is so clear in terms of decency and principle.
Oh, such decency. That he said those words. Such decency.
And transactional guidance in terms of how you view the world.
It is still a good day for the United States that this conviction is a prime example of the way our judicial system is supposed to work. Even President Biden saying in a statement that he would respect the outcome of this case. Those words so completely contrast.
So completely contrast.
With what his opponent, now a convicted felon himself, continues to say about the U.S. courts.
The contrast to how Trump has behaved, how Trump has treated the rule of law.
I didn't realize how much this guy does a comb forward. You see the comb forward on this guy? I forget his name. The comb forward here?
This was a good day for the system. Good day for
the system.
Sort of America as an example of how the rule of law should work.
President Biden.
It's a good day as an example when the president's son is a convicted felon. By his own admission.
Told David Muir that he would absolutely accept the verdict, whatever it was, and that he would not pardon his son, regardless. And today he said the same thing in a statement. Meanwhile, Donald Trump comes out and calls the justice system completely unfair.
How embarrassing for you.
What do you think of that contrast?
The contrast means you're an idiot. The contrast means that you're a talking head who got a job because someone thought you were pretty.
There's the contrast of
Not her, though. That's not why she got the job. Or her. Sorry. I'm just being real.
two different men.
Here is Joe Biden.
Two very different men. One of them tells you precisely, tells you plain the truth, and the other just sits there lying so that idiots will sit here praising him.
Who has lost.
You see the contrast. You do. Trump was like, no, we got to pardon him. And the other one is just a big stinking liar who you guys will carry water for and praise, like, oh, what a hero.
Son who served honorably in the armed forces, who now has basically said, I will sacrifice my surviving son's future. I will allow him to serve a prison term if that's what's determined, because that is what the rule of law demands.
The president announces that he will not pardon his son. Do you think ordinary Americans give enough thought to how this system is a miracle, a gift to this country, a gift to democracy?
A gift to democracy. That was fun. That was fun. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. Well, I thank you all for joining me. God willing, tomorrow evening I will be back here. 10:30, in that time, Eastern time. And I think I might be going to Newark tomorrow. I'm feeling like going to Newark. If I wake up early enough, I'm feeling like I'm going to go to Newark tomorrow. It seems like it's a good thing. I might. So look for updates there. I'll drop them locals first. At goodlogic.locals.com. goodlogic.locals.com. Make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, drop a comment, do all those algorithm things. Who knows? Maybe the channel will actually grow. It happens. It could happen. It could. Yeah, it doesn't seem possible, I know, but Spencer Pratt could win tomorrow. So, and tomorrow, I plan on basically covering that too. So make sure you're here. I thank you all for joining me. I'll remind you that lab meat was never meant for you. Do not eat lab meat. It's meant for they, them. It's meant for people who should not be serving in our military. It's not meant for you. And don't eat the bugs. Do not do it. Have a good night, everyone. And as always, Godspeed. Oh no! Did he check locals? Did he check locals? He checked locals.